Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pick a Side podcast. As I try to do my best Joel Moran impression, my name is Andrew Velez and I'm here with River Brown, Joel Dehls, and John Tortorelli. On this episode of the Pick a Side podcast, we will be discussing contenders and pretenders in the Western Conference, the Bucks' crazy win streak, Jalen Brunson's recent heaters, and of course, All-Star Weekend festivities. We'll also be doing a draft today, which I'm definitely excited for. I know Riv is definitely not happy with me because I'm making him partner up with someone he doesn't want to partner up with, but here we are. We're doing a show without Joel Moran. I understand. Sir. Everyone's watching. They're like, where's Joel Moran? We spoke about this on the last show. Joel's finally taken a break, so in the meanwhile, I will be hosting the show today. Pretty nerve-wracking, I got to be honest with you. I talked to a lot of people. I let them know that I'm nervous, but I'm feeling pretty good about it so far.
Like almost startled yourself at the beginning of the show.
Why?
You like started talking to me, and then it was that 1 second you went and started.
You sound so serious, man. Loosen up.
Do I, dude? I feel like I sound like my normal self.
Now loosen up.
How we doing today, guys?
You should loosen them up.
Solid.
You started early. You just started.
I'm saying like you do icebreakers when you first. I'm just saying
getting freaky already.
Do an icebreaker.
I don't know, but we started the show and you were laughing at me.
You were.
You did warn me that you were going to do that.
I did indeed tell you I would laugh.
But again, I told you I needed that. So I appreciate it.
It was just for hearing you in the beginning. It's very weird.
No, I'm not going to lie. It was definitely bizarre.
Yeah, you didn't get 5 minutes in and you're getting freaky with me.
I said get freaky with him.
Either which way, I'm with it.
That was me.
Yeah, you're sick.
Now, of course, before we start, John.
Hey, John.
Mr.
Welcome
Tortorelli.
back. I know you've been here, but in the background, you have your 1 to 2 moments of show, but
Chad Henne style.
this is your first time being on the show since the episode. The episode that has the most views.
Stop pulling it out of proportion. I love the jersey, though.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So
I'm wearing
it's a
the
special episode for that.
Can I ask you a question, John? Why do you think the episode got that many views?
The Tom Thibodeau debate?
You think
Maybe
there was
because my
any,
hair is all botched, too. I don't know. I think I got
think
my
there's any
headset on
motives
now.
in YouTube?
In YouTube.
Maybe they're pushing the algorithm a certain way.
I think
but
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Just wanted to make sure we're on the same page here what they're doing.
I don't know. They'll take you at the bad. They do a good job with this.
All right, so first and foremost, huge announcement. Mojo is finally getting the NBA involved, and the NBA is with Mojo now. Now, as NBA fans, we've been waiting for this, and we all have our agendas. We all have our favorite players, and now it's the first time now with the NBA that you can bet on your agendas. Now, there's no more chatting about who do you think is going to be the MVP. I know Riv has told me religiously that Jordan Poole is a future MVP in this league, and now you can finally go and invest on that belief. Now, we know that Mojo obviously got going with the NFL this season, and we were huge advocates of that. Me with my guy, Tua Tagovailoa, Joel with Jalen Hurts, and Riv with Brock Purdy, the highest grossing player this season, one of the best calls Riv's had in NFL by far. And now with the NBA, we have more questions. Ben Simmons. Are you going long? Are you going short?
That's a question.
Right now, he's 92nd right now on all the players available.
I'll be honest. He's more expensive than Bol, right?
I think so.
I'd rather have Bol.
I'd be honest, I'd rather have McChicken from McDonald's than go long
Fruit roll-up or Ben Simmons in his career?
Fruit roll-up?
Fruit roll-up. The rainbow kind.
I'll say it's not really I don't like fruit roll-ups like that.
It's a casual take.
You guys saw what Jock Vaughn said about Ben Simmons, right?
He was sick of it.
That he can't figure out a lineup. That's an issue. He does this for a living.
Yeah,
I mean, what he said is everything we say whenever we talk about Ben Simmons.
He was just being open and
honest. It's just hard to find a spot with Ben. If you're playing him next to Claxton, it's hard to find spacing. And then if you have another playmaker on the court, then what is he to do without the ball in his hands?
That's what you call a garbage basketball player.
And then now on the opposite side, you have Zion Williamson, right now the 20th ranked player in terms of Mojo ratings and where the prices lie. Do you want to go long on Zion's career and bank on the possibility that he reaches the potential we all think that he could reach if he stays healthy?
No, I think Zion is one of those few guys where you're like, fuck it, let's take the risk.
I agree with that. I agree, especially for the fact that we know how great Zion is. For him to be 20th is pretty amazing. But now we all have the possibility and now the opportunity to really put our NBA knowledge at the forefront. And now you get to put your player predictions and try and get them into either long or short-term investments. So, Riv, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, you want me to go first?
I would appreciate that because I know that obviously I mentioned his name a little bit earlier, but I know you have some things to get off your chest about a couple guys.
Westbrook?
Yeah, I think he's valued at an incredible rate.
Future Bull.
I would lock in with Russell Westbrook. Now let's be serious.
Who are some guys you're going to invest in, Riv?
Okay, so biggest risers for me, I'm going to stay with my agendas, ride with my two guys. It's going to be Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga. I think that was the easy answer for me. I think everybody knows. Once you see how low they was, Jordan Poole, I mean, you had guys like Fred VanVleet, Clint Capella, Aaron Gordon. I wrote a few more names, John Collins. Yeah.
They got nasty.
Yeah, they had a couple guys in front of them, but I think and it's funny because I think the way Jordan Poole's career has he went from drafted to the G League to the sixth man to semi-starter. Semi-starter. I think it's interesting how he has shown his work ethic and shown his ability to get better every year. So I would bank on him. And then Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, he had so much raw talent coming out the draft, and all the scouts were so high on his potential if he went to the right situation. And if you watch Golden State games this year, you've seen the slow progressions in his game, getting better game by game, understanding reads more, understanding defenses, understanding offenses, where to be on the court. Defensively, he's been taking the best guys night in, night out.
Savage.
It's been incredible to see his transition this year. And based off how the Warriors are looking with Bob Myers, they might have to bring him back. Dre might not get an extension. It's looking like a possible end of an era. You have to start putting your money in.
This is huge. He's not
kidding.
Let's go. Nice pick.
You have to start putting your money in and thinking like, all right, end of an era. You've seen Kuminga. They're really high on him. This is one of the guys. So for me, and Jordan Poole already got his bag. And as long as he starts, he's going to put up the numbers. So for me, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, my biggest risers.
All right, John, with your professional opinion, who are your two risers?
Maybe I'm a little bit too much of a Shane Sharp optimist here.
Okay.
But he is outside the top 100.
Yep.
Which to me is insane because I look at Anthony Edwards and Zach LaVine, guys with that same skill set who can finish at an elite level, have the shooting. Shane's my age. He's 19 years old. And this year he's had his lumps. He's playing on a team trying to contend, even though they're failing very badly. I think in 3 or 4 years, Shane Sharp's going to be a clear all-star in the Western Conference. And for Portland, whether or not they trade Dame, the thing I do know is that Sharp is the new age of a shooting guard that can shoot, can score from all three levels, has the tools to defend, and I think he has a higher motor than a Jalen Green, a player that's in a losing environment, and is not going to have the foundation, the organization. Like, the Rockets are a laughingstock, but with the Blazers, I trust them a lot more. And so for Shane Sharp, he's listed out, what is this?
What is this?
$98 out to the top 100. There are guys above him like Malcolm Brogdon who have already played well into their careers. Christian Wood is above him. And then he's barely above Sadiq Bey and Trey Murphy. I mean, that to me is the easy sleeper here.
And one thing that I do want to talk about is the fact that these guys are definitely priced differently than the NFL. Like my guy, of course. LeBron James right now is the most expensive guy, which there's no doubt about that. Right now he's $516. The most expensive in NFL is Tom Brady, and I believe he's just under $200. I'm only going to assume that it's because they play a significant less amount of games, which is the only reason that could allow for these prices to be so much higher. So again, LeBron is $516, then you have number 2 Kevin Durant at $392.
I'm very shocked that I'm very shocked that KD over Steph, because we talk about value in pricing. I mean, I think Steph, we can all agree in terms of value, is a top 3 player in the world, especially with his franchise, how valuable he is to the team. And Kevin Durant bounces from team to team. Sometimes he's hurt a lot. I was very interested to see KD at number 2. It definitely doesn't go by who's the better player. They just go about, especially with the Joker, who possibly might win another MVP, and him being lower than a couple guys who don't even have that. So I think that was definitely interesting.
One thing you said, John, that was interesting was that Jalen Green doesn't really have the foundation in Houston, and I don't disagree. But I will say is we kind of saw that with Devin Booker in Phoenix. They really did not have a strong foundation, but Devin Booker was out there balling. I'm not saying Jalen Green's going to be D-Book. I mean, I'd be a fool to say that. But we can't say that we haven't seen it before.
It was looking that way. And you're right. I mean, Book got very lucky to get the GM and James Jones, who was well-respected, to help him get Chris Paul. And then Monty Williams they got lucky there. The Lakers wouldn't want to pay Monty, and so he fell at Phoenix. So, I mean, most teams that are in that dysfunction, they don't get out the way the Suns did. I mean, they've come out very well.
Fair enough.
For sure.
Go ahead, Joel.
I was going to say, and it's not like Portland is this glamorous organization we look at, right, like the Warriors or someone like that, but it just goes to show how down bad the Rockets have been, that we look at them as one of the worst organizations in basketball, that we could prop up Portland, who year after year seems to fail Damian Lillard. And a very weird trade deadline. We didn't talk about them much, but they want to compete, but they trade away Josh Hart for Cam Reddish. That's like a rebuilding move. Strange move for them. I guess that maybe Cam Reddish and Dame Lillard.
Strange
boys.
move for a casual.
Well, now Matisse Thybulle can shoot all of a sudden. Matisse made 4 threes in his debut. Josh Hart's making threes. I mean,
Okay.
Josh Hart,
Change
you
of scenery.
slept. You slept, and
He wasn't shooting. He wasn't
2-game
shooting
sample
well.
size.
I'm speaking.
Let's take
I'm
it
speaking
easy.
for Joel
L
here, and of
sample
course
size.
my
Well,
Knicks.
no, John.
Throw some respect on
no,
Josh
in the beginning,
Hart.
John was there, and then he fell off, and now he's back on.
With who?
Joel
Josh Hart?
move. Yeah,
Or the move itself?
the Josh Hart guy.
So are you essentially saying that everyone eventually becomes Mr. Flip Aside?
I am not essentially saying.
It's kind of sounded exactly what you just said.
No, I'm saying John took a page out of Joel's book.
Got
and
it.
Got caught.
Got it. Ooh.
He's been around us that long. You know what I mean? Like,
Stop hanging out
rub
with us,
off on
John.
people.
Stop hanging out with
I
us.
thought the move was great. I mean, you get a high profile superstar in
a
Cam
fact.
Reddish. It's
Okay,
just,
well,
you know,
there
it's
we go.
just you don't fall.
I
you don't
died
fall,
at the Cam Reddish highlights you put on.
Oh God.
Bro, I'm surprised that one of your risers wasn't Cam
I didn't
Reddish.
click on it. Was it 2 minutes?
One of your risers wasn't Cam Reddish. You don't
I'm gonna
believe
wait.
in him?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna
Is
wait.
he on the list?
I did not see him
didn't
here.
see
I
his
know
name.
he's a player
But on the app,
available,
he
but
might
He wasn't on the top
on the
100.
spreadsheet. No.
I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna definitely lock in on him. Like I'm gonna go buy him because I know he like $4.
He's not on the app.
What?
Yeah, and that is crazy.
He's
Painful.
not on the app.
I'm gonna talk to Harrison.
I don't have to get that done.
All right, Joel, let me get your 2 biggest risers.
All right, so I have a couple. First of all, if you just want to be safe, don't get crazy.
God.
Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Mark Barnum, Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, Al Horford.
Okay.
If you just want to go with the
Rob
future,
Will, I don't know. He's
a
hurt all the
future
time.
champion, you know what I mean? You could go with some Celtics boys, but outside of that, maybe some guys who are cheaper. One name that popped out to me was Jaren Jackson Jr. He's around the same price as guys like Giddey, Vucevic, Tobias Harris. I feel like Tobias Harris can be a name to bring up a lot because his
No
price is
doubt.
very interesting. But JJJ, I mean, he could be a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to be on the Grizzlies, who's going to be competitive year in and year out. He's going to be on All-NBA defensive teams. So I looked at a lot of these, seeing who are these guys around. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. at the end of his career can be much higher than guys like Josh Giddey, Vooch, and Tobias Harris, and especially a young up-and-coming team like Memphis, who hasn't really reached their ceiling yet. Obviously talks like they have reached their ceiling, but they're not there quite yet. Another name I picked is a rookie, Keegan Murray. He's one of the cheapest players available right now. He is a rookie, and he's probably been the best shooting rookie out of everybody in this draft class, shooting 41% from 3. Some of the names around him are Devin Vassell, Jeremy Grant, and Jaden Ivey. And I think his role and his skill, obviously, is just going to grow with time. He's on a Kings team that is definitely up and coming, right? A team that surprised everybody. One of the best teams in the West for the 3 seed right now. And he has some good pieces around him like De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. And maybe as those guys age, Keegan Murray kind of takes some of that spotlight. Last name I'll say really quickly is Jalen Brunson. We're going to have a whole topic about him later, so I don't want to get too much into it.
It's a star.
But he's been phenomenal this last month and a half of the season, really all season long, but this month and a half specifically,
2023.
he's been ridiculous,
Been a dog.
snubbed for the All-Star game. But obviously we know New York gave him a 4-year contract. He's going to be there for a while. And it makes you think the way they're playing right now, the way he's playing specifically, and Randall, how they're playing with each other, what does this team look like if they're able to land a superstar?
All right, so my 2 biggest risers. Number 1, I have Cade Cunningham. Now, I have to throw this disclaimer out there because I was getting scolded before the show. Cade Cunningham is Riv's guy. That is Riv's guy, but
Appreciate that.
I just want to give him that acknowledgement. Now, real quick to talk about Cade Cunningham. Right now, he's ranked 57th among players available right now on Mojo. He costs $158. And Cade Cunningham was a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year last year, and he was putting up great numbers outside of like the first month of his rookie season where he was really struggling to find himself shooting the basketball. But then he really got comfortable. Now, of course, the injury definitely lowered where he is positioned right now, but you have guys like Benedict Mathurin, who we can give credit where credit is due. He's playing very well for his rookie season. I simply am taking Cade Cunningham over him. Franz Wagner, who is having a great year, that's a little bit more understandable, but I feel like Cade Cunningham's ceiling is higher. You have Alperen Şengün and Tobias Harris ranked over him. Now, Alperen has been playing very good basketball. With all due respect, I'm taking Cade Cunningham. With his ability to play make, his ability to score the basketball, Cade Cunningham is simply the guy I feel like is a little bit too low on this list. Next, I have Nick Claxton. Now, I was enlightened on Twitter after I was getting scolded for saying, oh, you clearly haven't watched Claxton play basketball this season, when I put Rob Will ahead of him over who I would prefer defensively. Now, I can acknowledge that I still would take Rob Will, but I can also acknowledge that him being 98th on this list is crazy, especially when a guy like, with all due respect, Ben Simmons is ahead of him. Jabari Smith is ahead of him. And if you believe in his ceiling, that's understandable, but what Claxton has shown this season deserves more acknowledgement than being the 98th ranked player right now, Mojo, costing $109. He leads the league in blocks. still one of the most efficient in terms of finishing near the basket. Nick Claxton has been fantastic. And the fact that they dropped the Kia Defensive Leader, the Defensive Player of the Year award, and Nick Claxton wasn't in the top 3, but Rob Will was. 1, I'll take that, because shout out to Rob Will. But 2, disrespectful, no doubt about it. And we didn't see your boy there either.
Neither of my boys.
That's a fact. Brook Lopez being
Warren
1
Mobley.
was crazy, but he still is one of the. I think he's 2 right now in terms of blocks per game. But that's also because Jaren Jackson doesn't qualify.
He's been up there all year, though.
They value blocks.
Now, real quick, because you mentioned something very good. You said that that Kevin Durant being ranked over Steph Curry was a little shocking to you. Now, we had a discussion about this on the last show before Mojo officially released the NBA. Is Steph Curry right now ranks not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5th right now in terms of value and long-term value. To me, that's crazy, and we spoke about this, Riv. Do you think that Steph deserves to be behind Luka, behind Giannis, behind KD?
I think the way they're doing it is a little bit of projecting and what you're doing right now. But I think in terms of, you see the way they valued Westbrook and Chris Paul based off their careers, which is respectable. They put him at a respectable mark.
No doubt.
I think for Luka to be over him is a little disrespectful just because I know his projection is insane, but Luka hasn't accomplished anything at the moment, and I think Steph with the him being a 2-time MVP, 4-time champion, Finals MVP, all the good and the glamour. Out of respect, he should have been definitely up there with LeBron.
At minimum,
Kevin
3.
Durant.
I agree.
Yeah, he should have been up there with them because they've showed the respect in LeBron and Kevin Durant. And I'm not saying Steph is better than those guys, but in terms of the pantheon of our era greats, LeBron, KD, Steph, those are the 3 of the best, and they've been doing nothing but you're sick. They've been doing nothing but winning championships. So I would have liked to see Steph up there in the top 3.
The only thing that pisses me off about that is that Jokic is under Curry. Right, and Jokic is a back-to-back MVP with potential to be a back-to-back-to-back MVP. First since Larry Bird, and he's ranked underneath Luka Doncic. Listen, I'm not oblivious to what Luka's doing, but at the same time, he does not have the accolades that Nikola Jokic has. Simple. He does not have the accolades that Steph Curry has. I believe in his talent. I believe that we are witnessing an all-time great, no doubt, but we can't ignore the fact that Jokic is on that trajectory, but Curry is already solidified an all-time great.
And he ain't done. It's not like Luka has done anything in the playoffs. I mean, obviously he made the WCF last year for the first time, but it's not like his performances are great. But he hasn't been to the finals, doesn't have a ring, obviously. So the difference, especially when you take into account, like you mentioned, Drew, possible 3-time MVP. Oh, Russell Westbrook, 260.
That's what I'm saying. So you have Russ still in the, top 10, top 10. Chris Paul is still ranked extremely high. And for Curry to not be top 3, it's kind of disrespectful. I understand.
Who would you take out? Giannis?
Giannis, with all due respect. I understand that Giannis is on a crazy trajectory also, but
he should he should definitely be over Luka pretty comfortably, I would say.
I mean,
and if I'm not crazy for saying I want Jokic over Luka as well.
This is for careers, just so you guys know. We're not talking about one season. This is who would you take for the rest of their career. Some of this has their careers baked in. That's why LeBron is the most expensive. He's has the most awards and accolades.
So before we move on, we want to say, Mojo, you want to say something, John?
I've got one more player. I got a couple more players.
Here we go.
I want to ask you, Riff, draft guy over here, real quick. Jabari Smith, 96th, $111. You haven't watched too much of Jabari this year, but do you think that's a little bit low given your pre-draft valuation when looking at these rookies so far this year?
For starters, that first comment was fucking crazy.
Be honest, have you watched Jabari Smith this season?
The fact that he assumed it was crazy.
Well, have you watched a lot of Jabari?
It's not a shot.
No, it's not a shot because I haven't. I'll be honest. That's exactly what it is. Who's watching Rockets?
It called me. He was like, "Well, I know you haven't watched the Rockets."
See, basically, told you.
I'm sorry. I asked the question one more time.
Given your pre-draft evaluation, when you look at Jabari Smith, 96th, do you think it's definitely a good opportunity to go long here in Jabari, long term?
Jabari is such a weird player because he doesn't have the foot speed to be a 3. He doesn't have the defensive versatility to be a 3, but he can't really be a 5 too. But he doesn't have the shooting right now to be a stretch. But I think with the right coaching, I think with the right players around him, the right point guard, I think he definitely develop into a small ball. He can develop into a stretch 4 because the shooting at college was already weird because he was shooting some ridiculous shots that weren't going to translate. Like he was shooting some out of body shots that really weren't going to translate. But I think with Jabari Smith Jabari Smith Jr. is 6'10", long, has the size. You take the gamble. It's just Houston is such a tough place to take a gamble on anybody because they don't have a coach. It's an AAU program over there. They don't have any systems. They don't have any culture. So it's hard to take a gamble on any of those players right now.
It is. And one of the other players looking at, too, talked about Jokic being outside the top 4. Jamal Murray is 42nd. I think the Nuggets this year win an NBA championship.
Okay.
And I think Jamal is going to be the Robin that people look at coming off the torn ACL. $180. Look, I think we'll get into the top 30, and we'll look at Jamal as an all-star by next season.
Go ahead.
It may be a hot take now, but you look at the Western Conference, all the teams are dealing with the same issues. It's depth, which the Nuggets are starting to build out. They add in Reggie Jackson now. He's going to play off the best playmaker he's ever had. You have Thomas Bryant. God forbid Jokic needs to come out for 6 to 8 minutes. But you've also got the durability. And when you look at Steph this year, for as much as I love Steph, I think he's the second best player in the world, Steph has dealt with injuries. You look at the Lakers.
What do you think he's the what?
He's dealt with injuries.
No, what's the part for that?
I love Steph. I think he's the second best player in the world.
Oh, John, you got yourself a lover. Keep going.
Him and Giannis, 1 and 2 for me. When you talk about the
Do you think
durability,
he's better than Joker?
yeah, I do think in the playoffs there's less concerns with Steph.
So you're taking Giannis over Jokic?
I am, because Jokic,
I'm stunned to hear
as
this.
a more traditional defensive center with Jokic, is lower ceiling, I think, in the playoff crucible.
very interesting.
But the Nuggets this year finally have something. That's a horses to defense. Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, KCP, Reggie Jackson, I think. It was a little bit of a weird buyout. I didn't like the Bowens Highland trade, but I do think the Nuggets have just enough depth. They have the durability, and I think Jokic will shut out all those doubters because they finally have the horses for the first time in 3 years.
Okay.
Interesting.
I
Do you
like
think
that.
the defensive upgrade is worth it over Bones?
Reggie's not a good defender either,
But
but
Bones is like the worst.
he's a tire fire. You know, Reggie's an upgrade on both sides of the ball, but I love Bones. I think he's going to be a real good player.
Reggie Jackson, right? Reggie is Bones. I'll be honest with you.
He's bigger though.
Yeah, that's what it is. But Reggie he plays like Bones offensively. Kind of a streaky heat checker. Solid playmaker. Defensively, he's there. You know, he's not horrible, but he's there. So, you know, you get what you can get.
Anything's an upgrade over Bones defensively though.
Yeah, Bones just wouldn't fit with them. You know, it's not ideal.
He's gonna fit with the Clippers. Gonna play defense.
All right, he played all right the other day.
It's playoff time though. I don't know. I mean,
Playoff crucible's
They
different.
have a lot of guys. Eric Gordon was
ton.
all right.
The only thing with Jamal that worries me, man, is that knee, obviously. He's missed some time with, right knee inflammation, right? He has been amazing this season when he has played, that's no doubt. It took him a little while to get going, but recently he's caught a heater, he's been fantastic. But already knee inflammation gives me concern. You already missed an entire season, and to deal with it again on that same knee that you had operated on, that's the only thing that gives me concern. I don't doubt his talent, but solely for availability, if that knee is going to continue to linger on, that'll be the only concern, simply.
Don't trip.
No?
Don't trip.
No, you feel good about it? Feel confident?
Feel great.
Understandable. Listen,
he
when
can take
Jamal's
games
on right now, when you're in first place, no doubt, you do have that luxury. You do have that
I
luxury.
think even if they drop the 3, they'll be fine.
Okay.
They can beat any team in the West. Yeah.
They can.
So I don't.
But I don't see them dropping.
For me personally,
To 3.
Seeding is important, but I think when you are that confident in your group, you have the experience. You don't care what seed you are. You just want to get in.
That's
healthy.
what Boston and Milwaukee happened last year. Milwaukee were sending their guys in the end of the season. They didn't want to play the Nets in the first round. Second round, Boston plays Milwaukee. Boston ends up getting home court advantage because they play their starters at the end of the season. Game 7, it's in Boston instead of Milwaukee. Who knows how that series changes if it's the other way around.
Well, they had game 6 in
They did.
Milwaukee. They choked.
Well, Tatum, all-timer.
Respect.
Tatum did have an all-timer. That's
Horford
probably his
needed
best
that.
performance ever.
Gamer.
Yeah,
Oh, Horford. Dunk.
for sure.
On your guy.
So once again, shout out to
That started
Mojo.
the comeback.
Yeah. Not ideal.
The
Now
Tatum
Horford
dunk.
dunked on Giannis and screamed in the air.
facts.
Embarrassing.
So once again, shout out to Mojo for finally releasing the NBA onto its platform. It has been a long time in the making, honestly. We've been waiting on
They
this.
told us about that for months.
No doubt. And for it to be today of all days, finally, the moment's here. It's very exciting again. Pick a side 100, I believe, is our code for Mojo. It's down in the description below. Make sure if you're going to invest to use that code. And moving on, we're going to go on to our...
We got liquid prop bets too for Mojo at the games tonight. That's another thing that they added earlier this month in February.
I was going to say, because I was looking at those, but I wasn't able to really
Lock in.
go all in exactly. Not lock in, but not able to use them similar to how I was using them in football because they were active. But now that NBA is finally live, now, yes, you're 100% right, John. Thank you for reminding me. The liquid props here. I saw Jalen Brunson, who we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show. They have his points at what? I believe it's $26. with the way that he's been playing, not crazy to invest in.
26 been a layup for him.
I'm looking at Josh Hart's points plus rebounds. If there's one thing he's
Now this
doing,
guy's a
it's
Josh
crushing.
Hart guy.
what's the
Last
lineup?
show you were here slandering,
But
bro.
that's because he wasn't shooting the ball in Portland. Just like
wasn't.
Matisse Thybulle, he goes to New York, and all of a sudden he's saying they're giving him the freedom to shoot. He's hitting the shots. So, I mean, I just got to give him the credit, man. If he's going to crash the glass, if he's going to get the rebounds, I'm looking
Play
at him,
defense.
points and rebounds tonight. Plays good defense, rock solid, try hard, like Kyle Lowry. I think he'll be great for Tom Thibodeau.
Tibbs got facts.
Okay,
Yep.
fair enough. So moving on to our next topic, we're going to unpack this Western Conference because I understand, and I'm sure we all understand, that the Western Conference is probably the most loaded and really chaotic it's been in a long time. I feel like we say this almost every year, but I feel like now more than ever, it is as chaotic as it's ever been. So we're going to go over our contenders and our pretenders. Of course, Riv, we're going to start with you. Who are your contenders and who are your pretenders?
When we mean contenders, because
So extra.
I have to be very clear and understanding at this table. When we mean contenders, do we mean contenders to make the WCF, or are we just saying the finals?
Contenders, man. Finals.
Finals,
Championship.
All right, so if we're talking championship, I look at 4 to 5 teams.
Riv, the only reason I'm upset now is because you dog Joel every single time he says some shit like this.
It's 7.
Okay, I mean, you're saying 4 to 5 teams. Is that really any better?
I'll say 4.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
Who is it?
Because the deadline changed a lot, to be fair.
That's a fact.
So you know what? I'll say 3 right now, and I'll keep 2 out. Oh, no, fuck it. I'm gonna say 4 to 5. I'm not gonna let you sway me. I think Denver is a comfortable contender. I think like what John said, they have the defensive guys for
They
it.
do.
Offensively, they have one of the best offensive systems in the league. Half court offense is crazy. The Jamal Murray Joker connection is real. Aaron Gordon has improved this year. They got guys like KCP, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon that are really, really good role players. I think they're built pretty comfortably to come out the West. I think when you look at the Joker's weaknesses and the fact that he struggles in pick and rolls, especially against quicker guards, that can be changed because I think Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, KCB, those type of defenders who are able to fight over screens are going to help and aid Joker. And he's been better on defense. You know, he's not the greatest defender. He will never be the greatest defender, but he's been better defensively. I look at Phoenix, and I think with the new acquisition of Kevin Durant, and they just picked up Terrence Ross, cool move. I think you have to consider them as a contender. You know,
As a
I think
legend.
with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre, and they added T.J. Warren. They have Terrence Ross. I think they need to get maybe one more move at the buyout market.
Mm-hmm.
But this you have to look at the team as a contender. I think with Devin Booker, they were a number 2 seed. Devin Booker goes down. Now that Devin Booker's been back, they've been winning games. They're back to the 4th seed.
Facts.
Kevin Durant will be back soon. That's somebody that's a prolific scorer you're adding to the lineup that's been elite defensively this year. I think you have to look at Phoenix. You have to think they're a contender. I think Dallas you can consider as a contender. I think what Luka can do by himself is make you a dangerous playoff team, a team that can get to the WCF. With Kyrie Irving now, who's initiated into that second role, who's always thrived at that second role. And I look at Luka and Kyrie's dynamic. Luka's more of a back-to-the-basket player. He likes to post up, as where Kyrie likes to free roam. I like the defense that they've been playing as of late. They do still have spacing. I do want them to get another wing and a backup, but for right now, I think you can consider Dallas as a contender. I look at the Clippers and the Warriors. They're kind of in the middle tier for me because I think the Warriors can be contenders. And I think the Clippers they also can be contenders. They just have to fix a lot of things with the Clippers. For me, they have to fix their clutch time scoring. But with Kawhi getting back to form, Paul George going back to that second role, you think you'll find it more comfortable. They made some good moves at the deadline, getting Plumlee as a backup, getting Eric Gordon, getting Bones. I still think they need a point guard. But you look at the Clippers, this is a team that can do it. With the Warriors, it's just about those them road wolves. If they can figure those out, then this is still a dangerous team that can literally beat any team in the West. That's my contenders, though.
Interesting. Very interesting. No Grizzlies.
No, I think they're like in tier 2. They're not contenders. They can make the WCF. I don't think they can make the finals.
Just curious
though.
because, listen, I was a part of that screaming match with Joel prior to the Suns getting KD.
That was pretty good.
It was.
So
To get to
I
the
understand.
WCF, though, they have to get past one of those contenders.
I think they can beat.
They're still one of the best defensive team in the league.
I think they could beat the Clippers.
Probably the weakest out of the contenders.
All right, John, what do you think?
Have you guys ever heard the term dangerously looming?
Dangers looming.
Dangerously looming.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
This guy
Have
is
you?
about to go on salute.
Yes.
Talking about some dangerously looming.
Are you talking about the Kings?
We're talking about the criteria here, so I'm just asking if you heard the term. Cool. Okay, so my 3 contenders, 3 in the Western Conference. Denver Nuggets, number 1. Phoenix Suns, number 2. Dallas Mavericks, number 3. Number 4, I have the Golden State Warriors, who are dangerously looming. Kind of like your Lakers in 2021.
So fucked up.
It's true, right? Steph Curry, Draymond Green, great duo. But you worry, when Gary Payton comes back, can he bring the type of spark, the point of attack defense he did last year? Because so far in Portland this year, it hasn't been there. Then you look at the wins you've lacked. I just think the Warriors to me would be number 4. You can't count them out. Okay, things do click. I think they could be anybody in the conference, but it's probably more likely than not. I could see the Warriors more likely getting knocked down in the first round than actually making it to the NBA Finals this year.
Depends on seeding.
Yeah,
And it does entirely. I mean, if the Warriors get the Grizzlies in round 1, it could be wraps for Memphis. 2-7 matchup, I don't care.
Okay.
So my third tier, after contenders and dangerously looming, is frisky. They're frisky.
Oh my God, these adjectives.
They're frisky. We like them.
You sound like a slut right now.
So the first team for me that's frisky is the Clippers. Kawhi's getting back to that level, and I love it. Let's see in the
Oh,
playoffs.
you didn't put Clippers in dangerously looming? Oh,
No.
okay.
Nope. I like to see him actually do it. I'm tired of theory stuff. I want to see the actuality of this team. You've brought a lot of pieces off the bench. Plum Dog, he'll get battered by Jokic in the post. Owen Highland, he ain't playing the playoffs. You look at the bench.
No way you gave Mason Plumlee a nickname.
That's his nickname, bro. Eric Gordon, I don't trust him. Norman Powell's good. I do worry about the
been eating
playmaking.
recently.
Terrence Mann at point guard, is that enough playmaking? I don't know. And when Kawhi gets his knee banged up and he misses 2 games and the entire loads in Paul George, I just think they're the 5th or 6th best team in the Western Conference. After the Clippers, Grizzlies, they were a loser at the deadline. You had to make a move. I've said it before, they remind me a lot like those grit and grind teams that were not good enough in the KD Golden State Warriors era. And then the last team is the Pelicans. They just can't stay healthy, man. I feel terrible for them. It sucks. And then at the playoff tier, play-in-ish, Canes, Wolves, Lakers, OKC.
All right, so yeah, we don't have to talk about those irrelevant teams.
No.
at the bottom.
How about you show some damn respect, Riv? You're really pissing me off right
John
now.
went ahead and did just not.
No,
his
no,
contenders.
John
did the whole
no,
list.
No, what I mean by that is John made a beautiful, exquisite list.
All right, I'm just
But
making
what I'm
sure.
saying is like teams like the Kings, credit
Great
to the
story.
Kings. Great story. They did their things. They're not winning a first round match.
Well, that's why we're doing contenders and pretenders.
They
You
they
can-
face up against a
Joel,
banged up Pelicans.
I'm interested to
I
hear
just
who you
love
have
the
as your
contenders.
contenders because let me just stay quiet and,
the
and
list,
listen to what you
the
have.
list I had a couple weeks ago is still the same list I have today. John, I think you did a beautiful job, but I'm just going to be straight to it. I have 3 contenders, and I will still steal Riv's borderline, or maybe you're frisky, dangerously
It's
looming. I did
dangerously
like
looming.
that. I like dangerously looming. But my 3 contenders, number 1, the Denver Nuggets. You guys talked about it. They've been arguably the best team in basketball, definitely the best teams in the West and most consistent offensively. They've been the number 1 offense in basketball basically the entire season. Jokic going for his 3rd MVP. And as we mentioned previously, Jamal Murray, when he has been healthy, has been the nice Robin to Jokic. And you do hope in the playoffs he's able to repeat some of his past playoff success, although some of it has come in the bubble, as I'm sure Riv was about to interrupt me to say. I do worry a bit in the playoffs, Jokic getting exposed on the defensive side of the ball. That is really my only worry with this team. I understand the perimeter defenders they do have with Bruce Browns and Aaron Gordon. I get it. But we have seen Jokic be exposed in the pick and roll in the playoffs. And once teams have a 7-game series, things are a lot different than just regular season. We just got to get through these games, get through the season, stay healthy, and get to the playoffs. My number 2 team, the Phoenix Suns. Getting KD changes everything. Before the KD trade, probably a first-round exit team. Maybe if some things go their way, maybe they could get past the first round. But with Kevin Durant, I mean, you're adding a top 5 player in the world, offensively phenomenal, and defensively this year, he's gone back to, honestly, one of the best defensive seasons he has had, not just being like
Ever,
a rim
no
protector,
doubt.
but just one-on-one on the perimeter as well has been fantastic. The third team, I still have the Warriors as contenders. I know some of you, Riv, put them in looming or whatever, or on the borderline. I don't know, man. I do think this Warriors team,
we give you PTSD.
this starting 5, when it's been healthy, is the best starting 5 in basketball. Net rating is like plus 22 when they play together. With Clay, Wiggins, Curry, Draymond, Looney, that starting 5 is still the best 5 in basketball. They just haven't been on the court together. A lot of that has to do with Steph Curry and the fact that the number one reason they would be a contender is Steph Curry. The fact that he has been hurt is obviously a big question mark going into this final stretch of the season and going into the playoffs. Of course, you assume he's 100% healthy going in. That's the reason I have them at this contender mark. But it is a little bit worrisome that he is obviously the spark to this team. And if he goes down or continues to go down and isn't able to stay healthy, I don't look at this team as contenders, obviously. And then the last team I will say that I think it might be in that mark. I was out on them a couple months ago. The Clippers are getting healthy. They're getting some depth at the deadline. I don't want to buy in just yet and say they're contenders. They're right there with the rest of these guys. But if they do somehow stay healthy, like we say every single year, they have to be in this conversation. They have two of the best two-way players in the league. They have the depth. They have big men in Zubac and Plum Dog. Another playmaker in Bones Highland. So I like the moves they made at the deadline, and they have to be in the conversation. I just trust these three other teams and their players more.
I'm glad you didn't have the Dallas Mavericks. I'm glad, because when we talk about our pretenders, the Mavericks have to get brought up. I'm stunned.
What?
Stunned.
Pretenders?
I'm stunned.
Huh? If you're not a contender, what are you?
You could be dangerously looming.
Because I don't have the. I don't think Dallas is contenders, but
they're in the mid. Then they're like tier 2.
If you're not a contender, what are you?
Or their defense is
I wouldn't
not
say a pretender is like a team that's been gassed. Pretty much what the Suns were. They won 64 games. They propped us up as if they're going to do something, and then they lost in the second round.
They weren't pretenders.
That's pretending.
They were the second best team in the West last year, I think.
And then they lost in the second round to the fifth best team in the West. That's pretending.
That was a pretty bad matchup for them.
That's my fault.
No, the Suns last year definitely were
if
pretenders.
you're the second best team in the league in the West.
So the Kings, is that what you're saying? Like they're the
well,
third best team in the West.
We don't have any expectations for them.
Okay.
So they wouldn't be considered like if the Warriors. You would think the Warriors are top dogs. So if the Warriors go out and lose in the first round, you would consider them pretenders because they
pretty simple. If you disappoint and you have high expectations, you're a pretender.
What if it's the worst possible matchup?
But if you're the second best team in the league, that's a fact.
Worst possible matchup. It shouldn't matter when you're supposed to be the best of the best.
Doesn't matchups matter more than seeding?
The matchups matter, but when you're the second best team in the West, no matchup should be that bad.
Oh, they were the best.
Who? The Suns?
Suns, yeah, they're the best.
I'm talking about last year. Just about last year. Like no matchup should be that bad to where you get outcoached and outplayed on your home court
in a game set. It's embarrassing.
And it was embarrassing.
It was.
But they were pretenders.
Oh, we watched it here. Yeah, believe me, we all saw it together.
We were pissed off.
You weren't here. You weren't here.
No, he was here for that game. Conveniently, got to watch.
Facts. I forgot.
You got to watch the moment of Chris Paul kind of 43. That was a pretty big shot.
Yeah, you watched the dog shit game. So my contenders, I'm not going to go too crazy. I want to talk more so about the pretenders, honestly. But my contenders, I have them in the A tier and the B tier. Now, I only gave you shit before because you are very vocal about when Joel said that he has a laundry list of contenders, you were upset. Now, I agree with Joel. There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams.
To be fair, he's putting the Suns pre-KD in there.
Listen, I agree with you.
Like, the teams were different.
I agree with you, but at the same time, now you're... I don't want to say backtracking, but it's the only word that I have in my head right now on the Grizzlies. So my A tier, I have the Suns and I have the Nuggets. I have the Suns for the fact that their offense has been the issue so far this season. Right now, they rank 18th in offensive rating. Now you add Kevin Durant, arguably the best offensive player in the game. Obviously, health is a concern, but when he's on the court, it's undeniable how amazing he is as a basketball player. What are you laughing at, John?
Dehls.
What did you do?
They said Drew and Dehls are some Luka haters, and I said, does Luka have a Larry Bird trophy? I didn't think so. Got his ass.
That's a baller statement right there. But their defense has been pretty solid. 9th, of course, but that's for the fact that Mikal was on this team, and Mikal is one of the better defenders, and you're losing that. But again, as Joel already mentioned, KD is a great defender in his own right, a great rim protector. He's been solid on ball. KD has been fantastic this year. The only concern would be injury, but if he's on the court, it's undeniable. The Suns have to be contenders. Now for the Nuggets. They have the number 1 offense in the league right now. Their defense is better than it is last year for the fact that you guys already mentioned it. Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon. The X factors for me, though, has to be Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. It has to be both. Because if you have both of these guys, plus Jokic, of course, who's arguably the best player in the world, I don't have him there, but he's arguably that. He's going to be potentially 3-time MVP. You got to give him that respect. It's got to be on Jamal. It's got to be on MPJ because Jokic has missed these two guys desperately. And Jamal Murray, when he's in the playoffs, simply goes to another gear, and we've seen it where Bubble Murray put on some amazing performances, and it's unfortunate that we've been robbed of that since. Jamal Murray can kick it to that next gear. Michael Porter Jr. has shown that he can offensively do a lot for a team, specifically next to Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. He is that perfect piece to that perfect final piece to that trio. The only concern would be defense. Is someone going to expose Jokic's defense? That would be a concern for me. I personally still need to see a game from the Suns, but I'm leaning as the Suns being my favorite to come out of the West. Solely for the fact that you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant next to one another with the floor general of Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, who has been playing very firm basketball. These four together on the court together is going to be scary. Now for my beats here. I do have the Grizzlies. I understand that offensively they're not with these other teams, but defensively you can't ignore it. Number 2 right now in terms of defensive rating, Ja Morant. People did not like the fact that he was getting put into the conversation with Devin Booker, but this season, Ja Morant has been one of the league's best players this season. It's that simple. Offensively, it's inignorable. He is one of the most dominant scorers. He gets to the basket at will. He does what he needs to do. He is one of the most athletic guards in the league as well. Ja Morant is a star. He is a superstar in the making if you already don't have him as one already. But what they do lack is shooting, and that's understandable. I don't know how they're going to... Is Luke Kennard going to get minutes? I feel like that's a Riv question. They do need three-point shooting desperately. As I spit all over Joel's mic, I apologize. They do need three-point shooting desperately, and their free throw shooting is not that good either. But when Ja Morant is your star, and you have Desmond Bane, who is also a great counterpart, a great second piece to the duo offensively. I don't know what I'm trying to say in that regards, but we spoke about it last show. His co-star is Jaren Jackson because defensively he is one of the best in the league. But offensively, it's Desmond Bane. Jaren Jackson worries me offensively because when they get into their offensive set, sometimes Jaren Jackson kind of just gets lost out there and he's just not moving around, not looking to be aggressive at all.
A little dilapidated.
Say that one more time.
A little off, a little dilapidated.
Okay.
High center of gravity, clumsy drives. You know.
What are we talking about?
No, we're talking about Jaren Jackson.
Oh.
It's like he's just not
fouls a lot.
He definitely.
He's great at
that's
that.
definitely.
But
But
that's a skill.
But I feel like in part you take the fouls for the fact that he is as amazing as he is defensively. You just don't want him fouling out of games, and that's the issue.
That's
honestly.
the issue. Like Jaren, I'm sorry to cut you off.
All good.
He's the best rim protector by far this season, but he's playing 26 minutes a game.
Yeah. He almost fouled out in the third quarter of the Celtics game over the weekend.
I remember we had this chat on the show earlier about how he plays this game with himself that if he gets 3 fouls, he fouls out in his own mind. So he might foul out every single game in his own eyes, and that's the truth. But you simply can't deny defensively he is one of the best in the game right now. Offense is a concern, which is why they are in my B tier, but Ja Morant, come playoff time, kicks it up to another gear as well. Ja Morant is a star. I don't care what anyone says to me. I have Devin Booker over him, but Ja Morant still deserves to be in that conversation. Now, I also have the Clippers, and I have them in my B tier, and they're fringe A tier, but the only reason they're in my B tier is because you can't trust them. You can't trust Kawhi to stay healthy. You can't trust Paul George to stay healthy, and these two guys are the reason why the Clippers are contenders in the first place. They're probably the deepest team in the NBA, but Kawhi Leonard, when he's on the court, his talent is up there with the best. But the issue becomes, can you trust and rely on him? You simply can't. He's averaging 27 points in 2023. Kawhi Leonard has simply been back to the Kawhi Leonard that we know.
Stupid efficiency.
He has been unbelievable and one of the main reasons why the Clippers are among the top teams in the Western Conference. But come playoff time, the only concern becomes, is he going to be available? Is that wrong, Riv, or no?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You're giving me a look that I didn't appreciate.
No,
He's the Clippers guy.
No, I was with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's sweet. That's sweet.
I was 100% with you. You had him in your B tier?
I did.
I can see that. Like, the Clippers are weird. Like you guys are talking about the health problems, which are issues. I think on-court problems are serious. I think them not having a legit system is serious. I think them being too ISO heavy is serious. Them not having a big that can guard any elite big in the league or even give them fits is serious. I think them in the clutch is a serious issue. They're not good in the clutch. I think the issues are deeper than health because even if they are healthy, all that shit is still,
That's
you know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying, is still there. So I think the Clippers have a little bit more because like Paul George is playing the 1 right now.
I meant to ask you about that.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
It's been fine, but it's weird. Paul George is not a traditional 1.
Facts.
And you put a guard on him, they speed up the offense. He's not a traditional playmaker. You know, he's a good passer. He's a good secondary playmaker. But you want a point guard that understands pace. You want a point guard that understands poise, understand where all his players need to be at to get in their spots. Paul George is not a point guard, so he doesn't understand all those schemes or all those sets in an offense. So you have you have pretty much 4 wings out there in a big, who most of those wings are shoot first. It's a little difficult. You know, it's been a weird transition. I mean, defensively they've been great. But offensively, they take times to run it. They take times to get into their sets. They take times to honestly get up the court, and it kind of puts them in last-minute heaves where they have 7 seconds left. They just go in the ISO ball, and then they just go put up a shot. So Paul George and Terrence Mann as a backcourt. Defensively, it's been fine, but offensively, because you know Paul George has been one of the best defenders in the league this year. He's been elite on that end. Kawhi has been elite in 2023, so you love to see that. But offensively, you know, especially when you're going in the West, you have Jamal Murray, you have Steph Curry, you know, you have these guards, Ja Morant, who can literally break down the defense. You're going to need a point guard eventually down the road. That's always been important.
It's not going to be Terrence Mann.
He don't even play point guard now. He just subs in. Right. He just guards the guard.
Yeah.
He, you know, PG is their one.
So we already talked about how they're probably the deepest team in the league. Right now, they're leading the highest scoring bench unit in the game, and that's led by Norman Powell. You talked about it a little bit, John. Norman Powell's been fantastic, averaging 17 points per game, 41% from 3, first in terms of points per game off the bench, third in points off the bench, fifth in threes off the bench. Norman Powell has been fantastic, and this bench unit as a whole is one of the main reasons why I do have them as a contender. My only concern is health. Now, the one team that I feel like this is the hardest team for me to evaluate is the Golden State Warriors, because it's solely relying on
Steph. The Pelicans?
No, I don't see them right now without Zion, and you haven't seen enough games with Zion and BI this season where I feel like BI's game is a lot more elevated. He is definitely a better basketball player since Zion and him last played. I have my concerns right now about when is Zion going to come back to the basketball court in general, and then how the two will pair if they don't have enough time to get the chemistry on the court. That is why I have a lot of concerns about that. And I don't have them as my contenders or my pretenders, because right now they are a tough team to evaluate also. But right now, the reason why I have the Warriors as my toughest team is because if Steph Curry is not on the court, of course, we're not even having this discussion about them being a contender. But that's why they're so difficult to evaluate, because you understand that they're more than likely Steph Curry will be back. And when Steph Curry's on the court, you cannot overlook this Warriors team. And if you have them as one of your top 3 contenders, it's understandable solely for the fact that Steph Curry is as amazing as he is. But if Steph Curry is not available, and if Steph Curry's injury lingers on throughout the season and hinders him at any point in time during the postseason, then the Warriors become a concern for me, because right now without Curry, they're not that great of a basketball team. My Lake Show, who I can be completely transparent, we have not been playing great basketball. We went into Golden State and we handed them an L. And in terms of being a home team and being dominant, the Warriors are probably the most dominant team at home. For us to go in there and beat them without Curry does worry me about the Warriors. Now, for where I really wanted to have a conversation, pretenders. The Mavericks are here and the Kings are here. The Kings, it's a different conversation. I don't want to be rude and label them as pretenders. It's just the sole fact that they're the 3rd seed right now in the Western Conference. Their offense is fantastic, but their defense is really, really not good. And that is the reason why, especially come playoff time, you lack the experience. You're going to go against one of those teams that has high-powered offense. If they face the Nuggets, if they face the Suns, if they face the Clippers, if they face a healthy Warriors, they could be a first-round exit, depending on seeding, of course. But they simply don't have the defense. Now, to talk about the Mavericks, again, I already spoke about this. Luka Doncic is generational. He is one of the best players in the NBA. Kyrie Irving is one of the best Robins in the NBA as well. And they put on the show the last time that they were on the court together against Minnesota. But what did that lead to? An L. Offensively, they can do a ton. They have 2 of the best isolation scorers in the game. They have one of the best players, period, in Luka Doncic. But the concern becomes defense. Their defense was already bad prior to Kyrie Irving getting there. And now that Kyrie Irving's there, you add another player who does not supply you defense at all. And Josh Green, who's supposed to be this plug-and fix-in player who's developed nicely, is too streaky offensively. And defensively, he'll supply you with some very solid defense. But I'm sorry, he's not covering one of your top guys that you have to go against come playoff time. He's not covering a Kawhi. That was a stupid statement to even make by Joel. I don't even know if he was joking or not. Even joking, it's not okay.
Probably.
He's not
serious.
Maxey?
Be serious.
He's a really good switch defender, man. What are we doing here? He's coming off a torn hamstring. That's where to go. And I get that.
Are you done?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
And in essence, Mavericks are pretenders for the fact their defense simply is not good.
All right. Enough with this Maxi Kleber shit. Enough. Yes, is he?
Bro, he said Maxi, and don't ask me why Tyrese Maxey was the only name in my head. I forgot. Yes, Maxi Kleber as well.
Maxi Kleber is a good defender. Nobody's denying that. He is a good switchable defender. But when you talk about the cream of the cream, Kawhi Leonard was literally looking for him in switches in those Dallas series. Not once. It happened multiple times. So I get the whole he's a good switchable defender. But Kawhi likes that matchup. A lot. Like, a lot.
A lot.
He's one of the guys who he shot 60% on. You know, Kleber is one of those guys. So let's... But to talk about Dallas, Josh Green is an interesting player. His development...
Coming around?
I never said he was bad.
He's not bad.
You were just kind
I was just like, when you talk
hesitant.
about... Because when you talk about guarding the best of the best in the playoffs,
Agreed.
I would like to see it. You know,
agree.
you can be great in the regular season, but now it's time. Okay, button up, 7-game series. What are you going to do? I would like to see it. That's all. So... Josh Green's development in the regular season has been amazing. You know, he's one of the reasons why they felt comfortable in moving Dorian Finney-Smith, because Josh Green's 6'7", way more athletic than Dorian. You know, he's a better playmaker than Dorian, and I think defensively he can offer that. But you know, they got him, they got Bullock, they got Maxi Kleber. Those are all good defenders. For me, though, the problem lies with Denver. I think, because Dallas doesn't have any backline defense. You know, I think you need a rim protector. I don't care what you say, whether he's 6'5", 6'10", 7'7", you need a rim protector. Almost any elite defense, you need a rim protector. You know, you look at Boston, rim protector.
High level one, too.
You look at Milwaukee, rim protector. Memphis, rim protector. Cleveland, rim protector. You know, these are defenses that can be elite for stretches. For Cleveland, Memphis, and Boston, they're elite for long periods of time. They all have an elite rim protector. You look in Golden State, Draymond Green's 6'8", and he's still an elite rim protector when you need him to be. So you need rim protection to make your defense kind of complete, and Dallas is lacking that. And I think that's one of the issues where it would give me problems. And in certain matchups, that's tough. You know, I think Denver, if they match up with Denver, I think Denver pretty much beats them comfortably. That's a matchup they don't want to see. But in terms of the small ball teams, you know, the Clippers, I think they can beat. Golden State's a tough matchup, but you know, that's a team that they can maybe get hot when, you know, the Mavericks have shown that they can get hot in playoff series and win games off that shooting three-pointers. So that's another team. You know, the Pelicans, I think they can beat. Phoenix is a tough one because they don't have rim protecting. They don't have elite defenders on the wing. But you go offense for offense. Luka and Kyrie, you take versus almost anybody. That's a matchup where you're like, all right, we got Luka and Kyrie offensively. We'll be fine. So Dallas, I understand what you mean by they're pretenders. I think they're contenders, but I understand your point about being pretenders. I think it's more of we can meet in the middle, as they haven't showed us much. But with Luka and Kyrie, that firepower, then on top of the shooting around them, this is still a really, really good team that could, like we saw from Dallas with Luka, could upset a team and go to the WCF. Could upset a team and maybe even go to the finals, you know? It just depends on the matchup. But I understand what you're saying.
It's kind of sound like the Nets. We're talking about Kyrie and KD. Now it's
2 years
just Kyrie and Luka. They have shooters around them.
A little different because Luka would never in his life get swept. Ever. Like, he won't allow that shit.
He'll get one.
Maybe he'll get two. He keeps getting two. So
I got one WCF.
Yeah, that's different.
I was going to say, different beast. The Warriors, he lost in 5, right?
Yeah, Steve Kerr, you know, legendary coach. You know.
He's a legend.
Yeah, but
no doubt.
In terms of that first round, he's going to get 2. You know, he can... I'm sorry, John, itching.
My fault. This Mavericks team's exactly like that net team before they got James Harden. And Josh Green, I was checking on Mojo. He's not even on Mojo yet. Josh Green is going to be
when you know you're a low-key guy.
player.
And put Cam, they bend up.
Wherever he's at, Josh Green is outside the top 120.
Cam clears.
And I think he's going to be a starting player on a championship caliber team for the next couple of years. Look, it's a risk if Kyrie walks. He said, look, don't ask me about it. Dallas can offer him more money than anybody else. They can give him the max, the Lakers can't. And they can also give him no state income tax, which the Lakers also can't. So I think Kyrie's going to stay
give him
in
a
Dallas.
max?
You actually can't.
Why not?
I think you guys are extending D'Lo as well, by the way.
See, that's what I'm saying. You know, I firmly believe that if Kyrie Irving becomes available and he wants to come to LA, D'Lo is not going to be on the roster. It's that simple to me.
I'll see you later.
If that's the reason why you're saying, if that's the
report.
reason why you're saying that we're not going to be able to sign him to a max contract, throw that away, John.
Well, it's not just that, my friend. You guys took on Malik Beasley. You took on Mo Bamba's non-guaranteed money. You took on Vando.
He's on team option.
Malik Beasley, he isn't a team option. So,
I mean,
16 million.
They can figure that out. But if they want, but that's the gamble.
Yes, because
That's
if you
the gamble.
decline that option, that's your best shooter.
Exactly.
And if Kyrie doesn't come, you just
But if Kyrie comes, then that replaces the shooting immediately.
That's the gambling part. That's tough.
You still need other people around those guys.
But you need to get the confirmation that Kyrie's obviously going to come to LA before you decide to decline that option.
Yeah.
you might not get it though.
What do you mean by that?
Kyrie,
That
maybe
confirmation?
fine.
Don't you
Let's-
choose
No, if-
options
if-
before free agency? I'm pretty sure you choose player and team options before free agency.
Yeah.
So I mean, there would be rumors and obviously talk around the league, but it's not like
I
it'd be
understand what you're saying.
confirmed.
I know what you're saying.
But, I mean, you look at this Mavericks team, the defense will be fine because their offense will be so good with Luka and Kyrie Irving. You talked about them losing to the Timberwolves later night. They came back from a 26-point deficit
They did.
against Anthony Edwards. There is not a team in the Western Conference that, when it's clicking, is more dangerous. And that's including the Suns because of Luka's playmaking to get everybody going. When Tim Hardaway Jr. and Reggie Bullock are making shots, the Mavericks are unbeatable.
Can you count on that?
You can some games.
You can count on Reggie Bullock in the playoffs?
And even when they're not, they have Kyrie Irving now. Look, I feel like Jalen Brunson, relative to Kyrie, is not that much of a gap, but Kyrie is better than Jalen Brunson.
For sure.
And what he brings as a Robin, that play style, that dynamic, it takes so much pressure off of Luka and injects the pace that this team desperately lacked. So the Mavericks, in no way, no how, are pretenders. Their defense may be mid with Josh Green and Max Kleba, but with Jason Kidd, he found a way of Reggie Bullock to make that top 10 defense a year ago. And while they don't have that go-to marquee wing defender in DFS, I don't think this gap between DFS and Josh as a defensive player is that large to the degree you're going to say, all right, the Mavericks are not a top 3 team in the West because they have arguably the best player in the conference. If Steph's not going to be in the second round, they have one of, if not the best Robin and Kyrie. He's not far off from Devin Booker. He's better than Jamal Murray. And I'm talking to this team because when the shots are falling, I mean, they can easily win a championship this season. But it's a big risk because the shots do need to fall.
We really think he's not far off from Devin Booker?
Kyrie?
I think Kyrie and D-Book are in the same tier. I'd have D-Book above Kai, though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think that's fair. Why
Definitely.
do you disagree?
I think far off, it does sound a little bit disrespectful, but I think Devin Booker is arguably a top 10, top 12 player in the NBA. But I think the gap,
Kyrie's top 16, 15? Like,
yeah, but that's a gap. Like, it's not a gap. Let me not say that. But in terms of that's a comfortable
are they not in the
lead.
same tier?
Well,
Oh, Kyrie and Book?
I don't think Booker.
I would not say so.
I don't think so. I don't know. Because, Booker's only going to keep getting better.
That's a fact.
I think Kyrie, we're going to see.
Right now, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think Devin Booker, when you break down the game, is just better at every facet, except maybe ball handling. I mean, he's not a better three-point shooter than Kyrie by any means. But in terms of getting to the spots, I like Devin Booker, that mid-range, getting to the basket. I
was going to say finishing at the basket's close.
Kyrie's a better finisher,
Yeah.
but I like Devin Booker's size. I like his ability to get to his spots. He's a better playmaker.
Easy.
Defensively, he provides that a little bit more.
No doubt. All right, so who are your pretenders? If you don't agree with me on the Mavericks, because I'll be honest, we're calling them contenders. You're saying they can win an NBA Finals. You can have this amazing offense. If you have no defense, especially you're going to be in the NBA Finals. You're going to play a team that has amazing defense. I'm only going to assume
I'll be
the
honest.
Celtics
Who in
and
the
the
West
Bucks.
has an amazing defense?
I'll be honest. A lot of these teams
Grizzlies.
can't beat the Celtics.
The Grizzlies. That's really
Until
about
Jared gets in foul trouble.
Listen. I hear what you're saying,
Dylan
Drew,
Brooks?
but
Come on, bro.
we're looking at 10 teams in the West. 8 of these teams can't beat the Celtics regardless.
I don't
We're just
disagree.
saying, I think go to. You're saying
No,
win,
facts,
go, I think
facts,
go
facts.
to is.
But he's saying he said win a championship.
That's
So
a
that's
fact.
immediately.
why I-
John did say win.
I'm just
John
saying,
took
in
it a
general,
step.
in terms of the East has a lot of teams can't beat the Bucks either.
Because the East has good offenses and good
Yeah,
defenses.
and so it's but if we talk about pretenders, the Timbs are pretenders. I think the Pelicans are pretenders just because of their lack of cohesiveness, continuity. They haven't played enough games. We don't know what we're going to see with this team. Jonas Valanciunas can easily get played off a court. CJ McCollum is streaky. Zion Williamson's health.
They don't have that reliable wing defender.
Herb
because
Jones
Herb can't
is
shoot.
awful to play on offensively. He's not good. He is literally Matisse Thybulle with a better story.
And Matisse now can shoot for one game.
Yeah, so you look at it's. I guess you can say the Kings. I think the Kings are pretenders just
That's a
because
fact.
they'll be a first round exit, but they will be probably the most exciting series in the playoffs because they bring that offense. It's going to be lit in Sacramento, so they're a high-powered offensive team, but they can't defend at all. So, you could say, and you can say, I mean, it depends because he said finals. Finals is tough because
I'm saying
realistically,
get to
yeah, that's
So you're saying
tough.
you believe the Finals winner is going to be in the East?
or the Warriors.
Depend-
I'm
It
sure
depends
that's
because, like I said, there's only two. I only look at 1 to 2 teams that can beat the Celtics.
And that is
the Warriors and the Clippers. Those are only two teams that can match up well with the Celtics and can go firepower for firepower with them on both ends. But I don't know if those two can comfortably get out the West. You know what I'm saying? It's because if Denver gets out the West, I think Boston can beat them. If Dallas gets out the West, I think Boston comfortably can beat them. Phoenix is going to be a tough matchup. I think that's one you could look at. Like, all right, this is one of those matchups. But I think I would pick Boston's defense. You look at a team like with the Pelicans. I think the Boston sweeps the Pelicans. There's a lot of teams.
Facts.
Memphis, I think Boston destroys Memphis. So there's a lot of teams. Like it's really tough. Because it's all about matchups, but not many teams can match up with the Celtics in the West.
No, but you still got to get through the West before we want to talk about the Celtics, right? You got like the West is so difficult because like the Mavericks, for example, I get the offense, I get the scoring. Luka and Kyrie could go off for 80, and they could put up ridiculous highlights and do all of this. We see year in and year out, last year too. If you don't have a good defense, not just good, if you don't have a damn near elite defense, Celtics and Warriors are both top 5. They might have been top 2, honestly. I think they were top 2 last year in terms of defensive efficiency. Dallas is ranked 22nd right now.
When Dre was healthy, yes.
We're not even talking about in the realm of even a good unit. Right now, 22nd, you're looking at one of the worst units in the league defensively, right? So I understand they had some moving pieces, but you also lost one of your better defenders in DFS. So while you want guys like Josh Green to step up, you've had Josh Green on this team, and you're still ranked 22nd defensive efficiency.
the defense is not good.
And that's an issue in the playoffs. That's an issue in the finals when you have 7-game series.
And the Clippers' defense is good.
But you want to know
they're
his defense
really good.
was
Their
also,
Clippers' defense is good.
You want to know his defense was also trash? The 2021 Brooklyn Nets. They were 23rd in defensive rating, even worse than the Mavericks ranking. Look what happened when they played the Bucks in the second round. They were cooking them so bad. It looked like Chris Middleton didn't know how to play basketball.
Okay.
They
all
also
right.
had, I guess.
Oh, no, fuck that. Black Budenholzer sucks. That's the real problem.
He was going to get fired if he lost two.
I
It
know.
was end.
And then you got to remember,
Giannis to
they
Miami.
played Boston, and that team was trash. That was a
Yeah, they
in the
beat us
first
without
round.
Jalen Brown. Evan Fournier was starting.
It didn't even matter if he started. That just wasn't a good Boston team. They had Kemba Walker.
That Nets team was so great offensively
Yeah.
with just the right amount of role players that complemented
We're talking
them.
about the greatest offense ever assembled. I understand that.
No, because
they
James
were hurt.
Harden,
I understand.
he left that series with a torn hamstring through 30 seconds.
Yep.
So I'm tired of hearing the Mavericks offense is not good enough because their defensive rating. You're right. Their defensive rating stinks, but so did the Nets team. The question is Luka so great offensively like Kevin Durant that he can will you to the conference finals? And the answer is yes. And then you get to the finals. I'm sorry, if it's Tatum versus Luka, Joel, I'm sorry.
Oh, stop it.
Luka
The
versus
Mavs
it's not-
simply are
it's
not
not-
on
it's
the
not
Celtics
Tatum.
level.
so much
It's not
better.
Tatum
It's-
versus Luka.
no,
it's
it's
a
not.
Boston
That's the-
versus
it
Dallas.
is.
But
not.
you bring in Kyrie Irving to the equation. Now JaVale McGee doesn't look as cooked offensively.
Yeah,
and he
you
can
think
play
Kyrie
some
wants to play
minutes.
the Celtics?
There's
Had him in
no
hell.
way in
Yeah.
hell.
Had him in hell.
The Mavs don't want
Come
to
on,
face
John.
the Celtics.
Come on,
the Mavs.
John.
Listen, the Mavs aren't going to have to worry about this. They're not going to the finals.
Oh, shit.
But I'm going to tell you this: if this does happen in some crazy possibility, the Celtics would smoke them in 5 games. The Celtics are simply just way better.
Luka against a Clippers team with Kawhi and Paul George and all of these wins and all of these shooters took him to 7 both times. And that was without Kyrie Irving. That was with Jalen Brunson. That was with Tim Hardaway Jr. Luka is a better player now.
That was
than he
also
then.
with
like
that was
better
also
role
with
players.
Kristaps Porzingis, and Kristaps Porzingis ended up
And the
becoming a
second
hole in
time
the
they played-
offense
in the
and
second-
defense.
The first series round, Kristaps left early
Facts.
with injury. The
But that's when
second time-
Kristaps was.
The second
Kristaps
time,
was a star.
Kristaps Porzingis was playing the same role that Maxi Kleber is going to play
John,
in
does
3
it,
months.
does it not bother you that the Celtics just played the Nets last year, who had 2 prolific scorers, Kevin Durant and Luka, neck and neck, and they shut it down?
Why? Because all those games, those were one of the 3 closest sweeps in
It was
NBA history.
not for sure, but
So
they got swept.
they did get swept. But the reason
How do you
why they got
justify a
swept,
sweep, John?
Because they couldn't close the game. They had no wing defenders. They had a bunch of guards they couldn't shoot and a bunch of bigs that were getting cooked by Al Horford.
Can't close the
Now-
game, but you have Kevin Durant and
Tatum
Kyrie
was putting KD in a
Irving.
blender.
But defensively, they had no wings. Their best wing was who?
But you're telling me that offense
I don't
can
even
mask a
know
bad
who the
defense.
Nets'
But
best
you're
win
telling
was
me
after Kevin
offense
Durant.
can mask a bad defense.
I'll say this.
Why
For
couldn't
the-
it mask
for the
it then
regular season.
and win one
Because
game?
they didn't have enough wing defense. They had
It's
none.
Kevin
they were
The
Durant.
Mavs
They
had,
had
who
zero.
the-
You need
outside of
some.
Josh Green, who
Wait,
did
John-
the Mavs
John,
have wing
so-
defense?
John, can I ask
that
you a
could
question?
guard Tatum, guard Brown, guard these guys? Who?
Maxi Kleber.
You have to
You
be
gotta
serious.
stop, bro.
John,
It's
can I-
impossible.
John, can I ask you a
Stop.
question? John, can I ask you a question? Because quickly, this is why I said Josh Richardson was a good hiring for the Pelicans because he can space the floor, he can defend. Great hire for the Pelicans.
Higher.
Signing?
I mean signing. Sorry, Jesus Christ. I mean it is a hiring because you're hiring him to come play with the team. Whatever. In terms of Dallas, John, can I ask you a question? In the West, what? Because you said they don't need that much defense. In a 7-game series where you have to buckle, because in the West, none of these teams can play defense. No. You're going to have to play defense for 7 games.
That's true.
Yeah,
in the West. What if you just outscore your opponent? What if someone falls in Kevin Durant's leg for a 4th time?
Okay, stop.
You can say the same thing about Kyrie.
Take the injuries out. Please take the injuries out.
The Clippers can't outscore. Like, I understand, yes, the Mavs are probably...
Let me ask, what do you think? Because, in the West, I think it's interesting how coaches are able to neutralize star players, right? So in the West, they have Jason Kidd, they have Luka, they have Kyrie Irving. Do you not think at any point they're going to have to crack down defensively and get stops for consecutive games?
Oh, without a doubt. That's what the Nets couldn't do last year. Or Jason Kidd and just the right amount of personnel. Like Luka is a passable defender. Him and Kyrie are not known for their defense.
He is passable.
Luka can hold up. I think the big X factor is JaVale McGee because he's 35 years old. He looked as cooked as a bun to start the season.
But they brought in,
yeah, I know. They brought in Kyrie, and now offensively he's given a little bit. And if you just have that body in there, if he has some sort of pulse, I think that could be enough for them defensively.
He played 6 minutes last night, John. I'm gonna be upset.
All right, because I really don't want to talk about the Mavericks going to the NBA Finals. Because respectfully, John, I don't think it's gonna happen.
He's got 2 games over 10 minutes in the last couple weeks.
I'll say this.
Mix and match those minutes with Dwight Powell and Christian Wood off the bench. Joel's guy.
I was going to say, Christian Wood, that's the most exciting name you've said to me.
Dwight Powell, do they even like Christian Wood?
No, not really. Don't want to extend it. But Dwight Powell's a good defensive center as well. I think those 2 wins
stinks.
And so did that Nets team. What's that Bucks?
And they got swept. Okay, you're talking about...
You toss Blake Griffin on Giannis in the half court, and then you have 1 or 2 wins playing the passing lanes. And I feel like with this Mavericks team, Dwight Powell can do just fine in the middle. You have JaVale McGee for 10 minutes. You have Christian Wood. I mean, you have a supernova offensive look.
JaVale McGee's not getting burned the regular season. He's getting DNPs.
Mostly.
All right. I don't know if I hear you. Beginning the season, I would be right with you. But this entire regular season, we're 60 games in, JaVale McGee is really not part of this rotation.
It's not your best option.
You sound like you have a lot of faith in Jason Kidd. Because this is all Jason Kidd.
Good coach.
I have a lot of faith in
Luka.
As Joel said,
Luka. No, but you're talking about defensively. You're talking about Dwight Powell, JaVale McGee, because I still have not figured out in my brain how Steph Curry was able to win 4 rings with 2 non-shooting bigs. But then I thought, Steve Kerr is actually really fucking great at what he does, right? So you're talking about Dwight Powell, JaVale McGee, Maxi Kleber, which you keep saying him. So that means you must believe Jason Kidd, because he's walking into the playoffs. He might have to see Tyronn Lue. He might have to see Taylor Jenkins. He might have to see Steve Kerr, Monty Williams. But I think he already outcoached Monty Williams, but now he has Kevin Durant.
Jason Kidd is a great coach. That's one thing
that's what I'm saying. So are you trusting in Jason Kidd to get it done?
I think Jason Kidd and his guys can muddy it up in the playoffs.
Okay.
And in this Western Conference, the Suns, look, Josh Okogie's been playing great for them. But if he stops shooting the way he is with his mask on, that Suns team has the same issues. The Nuggets, that's my favorite.
What if Reggie Bullock
but at least they got Chris Paul to play.
What if Reggie Bullock
as a big who's better than
Chris Paul he's a great playmaker, a great mid-range shooter.
That's all they need.
They're all they get cooked
and
defensively.
then Luka will batter him in the post, do his thing. Then you got
what if Reggie Bullock gets back to shooting 0% again?
That'd be an issue.
Reggie Bullock.
Because that's what you said. You said Reggie Bullock.
Josh Green, my friend.
And Reggie Bullock. Excuse me, Josh Green, who's also
Reggie Bullock's gonna have. He has to get minutes. He has to get minutes.
All right.
Josh Green.
No, Reggie Bullock.
Yeah,
he's one of the best defenders.
Between him and so this is what the Mavericks, I think, closing lineup should look like.
Okay.
So, in offense games, like let's
Christian
say
Wood needs to close those lineups.
Most of the time.
At the 5.
Yes,
for sure.
Small teams,
Maxi Kleber protecting the rim some with that switching look. It would be the Mavericks' best lineup: Luka, Kyrie, Josh Green, ideally Maxi Kleber, and then Christian Wood. We'll see a Maxi's hamstring, which he tore.
I liked when the Dallas and the Clippers played. I like what Christian Wood was able to do against small ball lineups, draw fouls, put them into positions where they're in the bonus early.
It's a really good rebounder.
I like that, and he's a good defender. He can hold up against certain guys. So I like that matchup.
I might be a better post defender than Christian Wood, but he's a good solid switch defender.
It's small ball, so there is no post. Like he can guard. Sure. Like it's no post up guys for really, unless you get him in a switch up. But what he can do to offenses, or to defenses, is wreck them, force them into bonuses. Maxi Kleber is good for the spacing because he may not have the percentages, but he's a shooter. You still have to go out there, respect it, and then as a defender, he's good. It really just depends on matchup. It just genuinely. But I'm with you, John. I have Mavericks as my contender also.
I know. It sounded like you were talking yourself out of it, though.
No, I'm understanding both sides.
All right.
I'm understanding both sides.
So
the Boston shit was crazy.
And that was insane.
Yeah, I'm understanding.
That was
both
insane.
Sides. Yeah.
So you spoke about matchups. So what we're going to do right now?
Hater.
I love Boston.
Oh,
But
good.
gotta
Now we
keep
love
it
it.
a
He sounds
beam.
like Joel. Oh, I love Boston.
There are
He's gonna
questions.
show me a tweet.
Bro,
He's gonna show me a tweet from
you know I'm a
2018
Boston
about this
fan.
Jason Tatum.
You and I watched the same NBA Finals.
We did.
And Jason Tatum played bad.
Is
bad for
Dallas
his
the
standards and went
Warriors?
6-0.
Is
They're not.
Luka Doncic and
Stop.
Jason Tatum a conversation?
Yeah, no, for sure.
It is.
Obviously.
But it's Steph.
But we're talking about a
dynasty.
dynasty and the Mavericks.
Tough. Hate that.
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
The Warriors.
Oh.
Okay.
Got it.
That's a great point. But
Sorry, bro. It's you. So I
thought- you thought it was
automatically.
Our dynasty of going
You
to
would
the
call them
Mavs.
that. You would call them a dynasty early. But yeah, we're a dynasty.
It's a big difference. That's you know.
We have Draymond Green, Steph, Kerr. They don't have guys like that.
With respect, bro. They don't. They simply don't.
Wiggins.
Like, is the Mavericks third better than Derek White?
Drew, I'm going to tell you something.
Okay, wait. What the fuck?
Yo, respect Derek White before you say something dumb.
Yeah,
Derek White's better than
they're
Christian
third.
Wood?
he might be.
It's a conversation for
It's
sure.
conversation.
What? Like Derek
Bro,
White
just
has
tell me you haven't.
tweaking.
Yeah, bro, just tell me you're not tapped in on Derek White. Just tell me you're not tapped in.
No,
Just
you
tell
guys
me.
are pissing me off.
Just tell me you're not
because
tapped in.
Derek White is good as the 6th or 7th man on Boston.
Okay.
He's good in his role.
He's been amazing.
Christian Wood is like being placed as like a 3rd or 4th guy on Dallas.
But you see
You're
when
comparing-
Derek White
because
gets
he-
when Derek
necessity.
White gets to be the guy, what he does.
Are you serious?
I am.
You're using, what are you using, a weak sample size?
He doesn't get that opportunity
Because that's not his game. That's not his
Well,
role.
it's because look at the team.
That's not his game. We're like, what are we doing here? It's
Look
not
at
like
the team. You have Tatum, you have
Derek White-
Brown, you have
if Derek
Smart
White's
ahead of him,
if Derek
Brogdon
White
ahead of
is
him.
Derek White
If
is
Derek
not
White
the
is
third
like
best player.
four
He's
ball
not.
handlers
Okay, so
ahead of
Derek-
Derek
That's
White.
that is
Derek-
my entire
if Derek
point.
White was the 3rd best player on a basketball team. What did they do?
Derek White would go to the Mavericks and be their third best player.
And what would they be?
I don't know. You
Where
have
they
them
are
as a
right
contender
now?
already.
What, like,
So what are we doing?
We got to end this.
No, exactly. No, we do have to end this,
move
and
on.
that's what I tried to do. We're gonna talk about
I was gonna
matchups.
tell you
we're
something.
talking about Derek White and
No,
Christian
no,
Wood. You're
yeah,
making it
no,
seem like
come
this
on,
is a
bro.
fucking all NBA
Riv,
player.
you're putting yourself in circles.
You guys are crazy.
No, we're not, because we exposed your ass and we got you.
No, you guys are
It's that
you're
simple.
overrating somebody in their role. He's a good
You know
player
what it
as a
is?
7th player.
You know what it is? He took the under on Derek White points last night, and what did he give him?
He looked like a fool.
27. Oh my!
Like,
God.
bro, wake up.
Like that's
wake
fine,
up.
Riv. I agree. He is great in his role, but then you see him get into a starting role, and it's fucking phenomenal.
Let's end the conversation
Yes.
on this.
All right, please.
You
go ahead,
don't. You
John.
don't watch Derek White. It's okay.
No, you don't. You're a casual to Derek White.
He was cooking your boy Drew. You told me Drew Holiday was going to lock him up yesterday. What happened?
Yeah. This man has played.
All right, last thing, and we're moving on.
No, because he played significant. He played roles, good roles in San Antonio.
Last year, he
Talk
was
about the
mediocre
Spurs, bro.
because
Come on.
he got traded to the Celtics midseason.
I just think you guys overrate guys in their roles.
What do you mean?
Honestly, he's a
great
Has he
role
had a
player.
great 2 weeks? Yeah, it's been incredible. But is that his natural role? No, he's literally a 7th best guy.
Shooting 39% from three this year.
He's a good shooter. He's
Good defender. He's a good playmaker.
He's a good defender. He's a good. I'm not saying denying that.
All right, is that wrong that he would go to the Mavericks and be their third best player?
No, I don't think that.
Okay, so then what's the issue? Oh, you don't think he would be the third
I
best?
don't think he'd be the third.
So you're saying Christian Wood is better than him?
Well, you can't. Yeah, I think he is better. I hate to say that with centers and guards. but
I understand.
Yeah, he is better. I think he is better.
At best, it's a
All right, John,
toss-up.
you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
The best defense is a good offense.
Christian Wood win Player of the Week.
Unfortunately, not. Giannis should have won
Didn't
Player
think
of the
so.
Week.
Oh, he didn't. Sucks.
I butchered that.
Almost lost to Sam Hauser and Moose.
It's okay. It's all right, John. It's all right.
Not ideal for Giannis.
All right. Let me
Last
gain
3 games,
control.
33, 23,
Yeah, no,
27.
I mean,
Put some
with
fucking
respect,
on
Riv,
Derek
you're really
White's name.
disrespecting Derek White, and it's really
You guys
it's
are-
appalling.
you guys
We've had some
overrate the
weird. We've
shit
had
out of
Davion
these
Mitchell versus
guys,
Tyus
bro.
Jones debates. I think Christian Wood versus
No,
Derek White
Riv just
might
made
be
it
the
seem like
most
Christian Wood
bizarre.
clears him. That's the issue. If
And
you
he
want to
doesn't.
say it's a toss-up,
I think
fine.
Christian Wood is better. Honestly, I think like
Well, you got very animated when we said Derek White's better.
you guys really overrate.
No,
the
we
shit out of
don't, bro.
Boston
All we're
guys,
simply
bro.
saying is that
Like,
one of
he's
the
the seventh
the
best guy
fourth-
that's wide open.
Have
a
you
lot
seen
of
him
offense.
protecting the rim?
He is honestly one of the best blocking
He's-
guards in the
I mean,
NBA.
he's like
Might
a
be the
baby
best.
Dwayne
You're on
Wade.
your own on this shit. I'm telling you, Riv.
Riv, but your argument doesn't make sense because he's good in his role, but once he is in a starting role, he's elevated.
He's elevated because he did it
Yes.
for 3 weeks.
Is that not a pretty decent sample size for someone who comes
How
in
many
off
games
the
was
bench?
it? How many games was it?
I'll tell you
If
right
it's
now.
not 10 games, I don't want to hear it.
My guess would be 10 games.
All right, if it's 10 games, I will concede this argument.
All right.
Okay, he started 1, 2, 3, 4, 12.
I'll concede.
Just throw some
So he
respect on
started
his
for 12
name.
games.
That's all I asked. All right,
concede.
now I've been trying to do this for 15 minutes, so let's move on. We're going to go over first round matchups in the Western Conference. Way too early playoff preview right now. So right now we're going to do the play-in first. Warriors versus Jazz. Who do you have? I think consensus. We're all going Warriors here.
Warriors.
Correct.
Yep.
That's a home game.
Yes, that's. I mean, either which way. And then unfortunately, it's going to have to be an away game for the
Doesn't
next
matter.
round.
No one brought up the Lakers and contenders, pretenders.
Yeah, no, I'm hurting right now. Honestly, I
didn't even
I need
do
the
it.
King
I
back.
know. Shocked.
I'm going to talk about them in my This Week in the NBA. If you're surprised at all, right now. So then the 7th versus 8 right now would be the Pelicans versus Timberwolves. Who do you have?
Is the Pels healthy?
Pels are healthy at this point.
I would take the Pels.
No, they're not healthy.
No,
I'm saying at this point, think in
Zion's healthy,
this
BI's
imaginary
here.
idea.
Give me Pels.
I would take the Pels too.
Ah, wait a minute.
It's tough. And
You know
I'm
what?
a
Give me
Pels guy.
Oh,
Minnesota.
Really?
I respect that opinion. I do.
I think Ant Bug's on that day.
And he has been playing at an insane level. Jaden McDaniels, obviously defensively, these two have been playing amazing defense. And you add the fact that Anthony Edwards has been prolific offensively. I understand where you're coming from. I do, but I have to go Pelicans because I see the ceiling. I've seen it this season where they can get to when Zion's on the court. It's that simple. I have to go Pelicans for that reason.
I'm rolling with the Wolves, but I think with Cat coming to the mix, they could get worse if Anthony Edwards is.
That's a concern of
usage.
mine
Good point.
also,
Because he has been so good.
because I don't want to be oblivious to that point either.
He's gonna be back soon, right? He's been out for a minute.
It should. It's been a grade 3 calf injury, and
He's been out way longer
it's
than
going to
expected.
take for a guy that already struggled defensively, moving
man,
laterally
too.
in transition. That's going to be a pretty steep process, I think.
Because when Cat was there, they were not nearly as good as they are right now. You add Mike Conley to the mix, that's already a change that you have to have in your offense. Mike Conley has played very good in his short amount of time here. He's gotten Rudy a little bit more comfortable too, and that's become from the fact that they played with each other in Utah.
Didn't he go perfect from the field the other night?
Rudy Gobert had a great game the other night with Conley. But the concern does become Cat and how does he insert himself into this offense? Because he is one of the better offensive players in this league. You do have to give him credit for that. What happened?
Oh no, just knocked my elbow.
Oh, you're right, man?
Yeah, mine.
Funny bone, not so funny. But Cat, it's very evident how is he going to mess with Anthony Edwards' rhythm right now, and the way that Anthony Edwards is cooking, I don't want to mess with that. So I get where you're coming from. So with that being said, that would mean that you have the Wolves winning, and we have the Pelicans winning. So for us, it would be the Pelicans versus the Warriors. For y'all, it would be the Wolves versus the Warriors. Who do you have?
No, that's Cap. The Wolves go. If the Wolves beat the Pelicans, they go to the playoffs for me.
Oh, you're 100% right.
And the
Facts.
Pels and the Warriors play.
I understand what
And
you're
I
saying.
have the
Opposite way
Warriors.
around. I made a
Take the
mistake.
Warriors. Yep.
Take the Warriors. You as well?
I'm taking the Dubs. Yep.
Okay, understandable. I do think the Warriors make the playoffs regardless. Going on the road, especially with the fact that they have been one of the worst road teams this season, it is a minor concern, but I would go with the Warriors, especially the Timberwolves, who, yes, I do believe that they're a very good basketball team, and there's nothing to knock them. It's just, how does Cat come back and insert himself in this roster? Does it ruin the way that they are playing right now? That's a genuine concern.
I don't want to sound like Golden State's been terrible on the road, but the Grizzlies have 4 more wins on the road, and the Mavericks have 5.
I understand, but right now the Grizzlies are the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
It's just, you guys are number 9. Just talking facts.
The Warriors were winning a couple of road games before Curry went down.
We're getting groove.
Couple. I mean, when they had like
It's
4,
just
and then they
obvious
won
you guys
2,
are
so-
significantly better at home.
Oh,
Facts.
we're 22-7 on the road.
So honestly, either which way, if the Pelicans lose to the Wolves, if the Pelicans beat the Wolves and make the play and make the playoffs, I would take the Pelicans over the
Warriors
over the-
at this point, if the season ends right now, the Warriors are 8th seed no matter what. So they will see Denver.
Okay, all right, understandable. So that would be
That
round
is
1,
not fucking
Denver versus the
ideal.
Warriors. How do you feel about that?
Oh, Denver wins.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Honestly.
6-7 games.
And the difference between this year and last year is that Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, smaller role, Darius Caldwell-Pope. I mean, the entire Nugget team is different.
Don't forget Thomas Bryant.
Thomas Bryant, yeah, he'll play 0 minutes in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson, too. A year ago, or I don't even remember who the Nuggets are quite frankly starring that series. But Monte Morris, this team, I think, would handle the
How many
Dubs.
games?
6 games.
6 games?
I think it's 6 games. I give them that respect.
Yeah, I would take the Nuggets, but that's a shame because if the Warriors played damn near anyone else in that top 3,
Oh, we played Memphis.
I don't know, bro.
Beat
If
them.
Memphis,
it
take
goes
the
7,
Kings.
I don't know how the Dubs lose. If it goes 7, they're just the more experienced team.
If it goes 6 and Dubs are up, there's no way Denver wins that game.
I'm with you.
Like, no way. So they will have to go up 3-2 and have game 6 in Golden State.
Facts.
There's just Denver has no chance. They will complete an upset.
And one thing in Denver, second most clutch team in the league this year, first was Brooklyn. So that's another important thing in Game 7.
But, Golden State could exploit that matchup. Small ball, make Joker work, make him tired,
Sure.
See how it goes.
So potentially it could be a rematch, Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves with the way that you guys have it. Or for us, it would be the Grizzlies versus the Pelicans. Who do you have?
I would take Grizzlies in 6.
Okay.
I think defensively, I don't think Minnesota has improved in the playoffs.
I agree.
From what has happened last year, that discipline, and then getting Rudy Gobert is tough for any team, but it helps in this matchup because they'll play Steven Adams. You can play Rudy Gobert. But I look at the Grizzlies, they have to fix that half-court offense. But John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane has improved. And I think the lack of games Desmond Bane has played this year and John Morant has hindered that half-court offense. I know they're not the greatest even when they played, but I think it hasn't created enough. They haven't played enough together to fully get that shit going.
I got you.
So I think by then, playoffs, they'll be ready. I'll take the Grizzlies in 6.
I'm taking the Grizzlies as well, but in this series, with Rudy Gobert in the fold, I think that Minnesota defense could really give them challenges in the half court. And I mean, it's going to be a different series than last year because now you're adding Cat into the mix. Last year, he was struggling mightily in that matchup, and I don't know. The Timberwolves have the defensive players and Ant and Jaden McDaniels.
Facts.
I just worry about that fit, like I said before, with Cat. But I mean, I guess they have a lot of talent, so that's not a bad issue to have.
You're taking Joe.
It would be Grizzlies, Pels.
No, it'd be Pels or Grizzlies, Girls, and
I'll be taking the Grizzlies.
Pels and Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Take Grizzlies.
This one's tough for me, and I know that I kind of talked ill on the Pelicans a little bit earlier for the fact that I'm not sure about how BI and Zion will fit, but in this scenario, you're giving me a 100%. I don't have to worry about Zion getting hurt, which I don't know if that's really, realistic, a very good word. But I'm going to live in this hypothetical. If I'm getting Zion 100%, the Pelicans can beat the Grizzlies. But if where it currently stands and Zion's injury continues to linger, the Grizzlies should not have a problem getting out of the first round. But I have seen the Pelicans at 100 this season, and not even at 100 because BI missed a ton of games, and they still were at top of the Western Conference.
2 months out, first seed.
That's just how dominant Zion Williamson is. It really is all dependent on Zion, my victor in this series. The next playoff series would be the Kings and the Mavericks. I think that would be a great series.
That'd be fun. Lots of scoring.
Great series.
A lot of defense.
And I would love if the Kings won. I would.
Oh, I would
But
love.
but I don't. I just don't see it happening. I think I just have to go Mavericks out of respect for Luka Doncic.
Yeah, the Mavs are just basically a better version of the Kings. With all due respect.
Tragically. This Kings team is not going to...
So well said.
This Kings team is not going to fold because they've been so clutch this year. I think some of it is a little bit fluky. I don't think, De'Aaron Fox is the most clutch point guard in basketball. But De'Aaron has been outstanding.
It's been great.
And they have so much shooting around him.
Kevin Huerter, though, has been...
Kayvon, man. What happened?
He's been
pooped.
like 20%, 25%, something like that, right? In the last month.
It was like mid 40s, 30 something, 20 something.
Yeah, it was
He's been terrible.
I'll take Dallas pretty comfortably.
I was gonna say you said you have the contenders. I mean, I have to see
Sacramento can't defend. They don't have any wing defense. This experience with Dallas, Luka and Kyrie, the star power. I'll take Dallas pretty comfortably.
Okay,
I think it would be a tough series though. I think it would go 6. But
the Kings are they're not getting swept, I don't think.
No.
Nah.
But it wouldn't surprise me, kind of like the T-Wolves Grizzlies last year, if they pushed it to 6 a little bit.
I feel you.
5 wouldn't shock me too.
That's a very good opinion right there, John. This would be probably the best first round matchup we've ever seen. The Suns versus the Clippers. Who do you have?
That'd be a dogfight. But I would take the Suns.
This is why it's way too early because we understand that standings are just constantly moving. But as it stands right now, the Suns versus Clippers, it would be a shame if one of these two teams got out in the first round.
It's kind of like the Warriors and Nuggets. It's like you wish it was just any other matchup so you could see these teams go at least one more round because you have Clippers fans who think they can win the championship. Suns fans who get KD, they think they can win the championship. They match up round 1. One of these teams got to go home, and now this season's a complete failure.
It is tough because these two teams are figuring themselves out. Kevin Durant being in the fold, you'd rather him see later where they're probably going to be a team with more cohesion. I'm rolling Phoenix, though, man. I trust them, in spite of Tyronn Lue being the better head coach, because they have Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Monty's not a scrub, though.
He's not, but last year in that
folded.
Dallas series,
He
did make a couple of mistakes. I felt like he should have benched Chris Paul. That was a tough decision to make. And this matchup against his Clippers team, you may look at Chris Paul, and he may have to, in the closing minutes, put in a Damian Lee to get more versatility. But
they could survive that this year.
I do think they could in some ways. DeAndre Ayton's going to be the key X factor. That'd be very compelling.
I'm with you. Yeah. What do you think, Riff? This is a tough one for you. I know.
This is tough. Chris Paul would struggle a lot in this series. I think Ayton. I agree. Ayton is definitely the X factor because he's somebody who can maybe exploit this matchup. Him and Zubac both. Definitely X factors for both teams. Can they impose their will? Can they have that rim protection that's available? The the duos are gonna come to play. I like the Clippers' depth. I'll be honest.
Damn.
I like the Clippers' depth. I like the fact that they have.
No, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised that he's
Nah,
going
I
to
know.
pick the Clippers, honestly.
I think the Clippers win.
There's
I
a
think-
real talk, real
I
conversation.
think Tyronn Lue is going to outcoach Monty Williams. I think the depth is there. They have better players on their bench.
They do.
And Ty Lue is just an adjuster, man. Like he can go down 2-0 and then make adjustments out the ass, and now it's 2-2. He's never down in a series. I think I'll take the Clippers, but I don't even feel good saying that. And this isn't even me being biased. I just think the way they're a better team, I think they'll be figured out a little bit better by the end of the year. I don't know. Phoenix's depth isn't that good. The star power is there, but Chris Paul, I don't even view him as a star anymore. He's a good player right now, but I don't think he's like an all-star type of player. And that wing defense is going to cause him trouble. It could kind of force Aiden out the box too, because that small ball lineup can give him some fits on the defensive end. So I'll take the Clippers, but I don't feel good about it.
You shouldn't.
I have a stomachache actually just now.
I think it would be an amazing matchup, absolutely.
His Warriors and Clippers going home round one would be tough.
And I don't want, yeah, no, that'd
Can't
be
afford
crazy.
that.
That'd be crazy. You had to pick one or the other.
Facts.
You had to pick
I
one.
promise you, all Warriors got to do is get out that 8th seed. They ain't getting out round one.
If they beat the Nuggets round one, then you
Oh,
have to
you're
chat.
all cooked.
You have to chat.
Please, I won't come. I'm just let me soak.
You'd have, if they lose?
No, if they win,
Why? What do you mean
that
sulk?
would be fucking insufferable.
Oh, but you're not
What is it
sulking.
going to take for the Warriors to make that happen?
What? To beat Denver?
Yeah.
Draymond Green has to play out his mind. Steph's gonna kill. He always kills Denver
Is Poole the X factor? I think he has to be.
to a degree. They have to just figure out
Because
their.
you know Curry's going to come to play.
They have to figure out their line. It's really Clay.
If Clay
Clay
stays
comes.
hot,
If Clay comes to
stays
play.
hot.
It's gonna be.
I just trust Clay. I understand last year he was probably the worst we've seen
I
him,
would
but
say defensively late in the fourth. With the Warriors have been struggling with closing out games. If they can figure that out, and if they can force Joker to work, and they can neutralize Jamal Murray, I think they can win that series. It doesn't need to be a lot for them to win that series. Denver's
either
just
way.
been so good that you got to put them over.
So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite when I say this, because obviously there are question marks with the Suns for the fact that KD has been injured. That is a concern if you're a Suns fan. How is he going to come back? But if he's back and when he's back, you have to trust Kevin Durant. Now, I say that statement because I lean the Suns for the question because the Clippers have simply too many question marks for me. Obviously, right now, they are playing amazing basketball. Their bench unit has been great. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have been phenomenal. A lot of credit to Kawhi Leonard for coming back and taking his time, his time to get back to Kawhi Leonard's shape. It's just there's too many concerns and question marks for me to lean with the Clippers.
There's a Red Cross icon next to Kawhi's name for as great a player as he's been. You always have to worry if he's going to leave the lineup for whatever the reason may be.
Some of the best basketball we saw Kawhi play was against the Mavericks and then against the Jazz. And you thought that, hey, this Clippers team could go to the NBA Finals. They could win the whole damn thing.
They would have.
And in a blink of an eye, Kawhi Leonard torn ACL. It's just the unfortunate truth. And I'm one of those guys, I hate even talking about potential injuries with players because it really just, I never want to see, especially a
Say the same about
superstar.
KD though.
Exactly why I said I don't want to be a hypocrite, but
At least right now.
it's Devin Booker, it's Kevin Durant. I just think these two together are simply just better than Paul George and Kawhi, and that sounds pretty disrespectful because of how great Kawhi and PG
they
are.
are.
I
They're
just
better.
think offensively it'll be impossible to stop them. I don't care the defensive presence that the Clippers have. You're not stopping KD and Booker. And you mentioned Chris Paul. I think with Chris Paul, this is going to be a huge positive for him because he already struggles scoring the basketball right now at this age. His main purpose on this team will be to facilitate to two of the best scorers he's probably ever had in his career at the same exact time.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though because remember what the adjustment was in Dallas. Put a bigger guy on him, sit on his. I think it was his left hand or sit on one of his hands when he comes off the screen. Hedge your heart. Chris Paul is at the age where he cannot move as fast as he can. He cannot blitz you with that speed. He's beating you with his IQ. And then with the Clippers, they run those four wings. You put a guy like Terrence Mann, who's a good defender. He's nothing crazy, but you put a guy like Terrence Mann, who's an harasser. Somebody who I like to call an harasser, a menace, off-ball pest. He pressures you full court. That can cause some concerns. 6'6", 6'7", strong, athletic. Tough for Chris Paul to see over him. So that can be something that the Clippers could use to their advantage. But of course, you're not going to stop Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, but you're not going to stop Kawhi. So it's like it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Now let me ask you guys: do you guys want to go through the entire West and see how it shapes out, or that might just be a little bit too much if you ask me? All right, I'm with you guys. So we spoke about it a little bit earlier, potential contenders, of course, in the Western Conference. That means they're going to have to face someone in the East, and we spoke about it. Is it going to be the Celtics? Is it going to be the Milwaukee Bucks? Speaking about the Milwaukee Bucks, they have been on one of the more impressive heaters this season. 11-game win streak last night, defeating Joel's Boston Celtics in overtime.
Without 4 starters, Sam Hauser and Mike Muscala started.
We got it.
Yeah,
We got it.
Listen, that's a valid point, though. Of course,
If you watch ball, you know that.
that's very true. But, Riv, of course, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about the Milwaukee Bucks? What is their ceiling? Are they the best team in the NBA right now?
No. I think the Boston Celtics are still the best team in the NBA. I think they're one of the best.
0.5 out of first place.
Yeah, I think the Bucks are like top 3, top 4 team in the league. I think they're a great team. I think Giannis has been on a heater lately. He's been amazing.
He's been insane.
Offensively, he's been destroying teams as of late in this stretch. Brook Lopez has been one of the best rim protectors in the league. Drew Holiday, he had 40. He's been solid. The Bucks, though, their problem is always going to be, what is Chris Middleton going to look like? Is Chris Middleton going to be that Robin, or is he going to fall asleep? We forget pre-ring, Chris Middleton had a lot of stinkers. He was a guy that didn't show up on a regular occurrence. Then go to that finals, that run, and he comes up and he performs. And now we forget what happens. Now he's injured. He's a little bit of an injury-prone type of player. So it's going to be interesting. You look at the depth of the Bucks. Little age. Wesley Matthews is one of their defenders. Pat Connaughton is a good player. It's just tough for me. Bobby Portis has been hitting the 3 at the rate you want him to hit this year, but I feel like as the year progresses, he'll get back to that range.
He's missed some time too.
But I think
the fact that he's missed some time.
I think it's really just the Bucks or the Celtics for me. I love Cleveland. Cleveland's a great team, but I just think they're a year away. And if they do sneak into the finals, fucking hooray! But you know what I'm saying? I'm not really seeing it because they're not ready yet. But I think the East is really just the Bucks and the Celtics. I look at Philly as a team that can give the Bucks problem because I like that Embiid versus Giannis matchup. But I think it's just between the Bucks and the Celtics. I think as great as the Bucks have been, Mike Budenholzer still offers coaching disadvantages. He's still not a good coach. He still struggles with schemes. He struggles with substitutions. This is a guy that really got saved by that ring. He would have been fired had the Nets completed that win in round 2. But Budenholzer would have been gone. But you look at the Celtics, you look at the Bucks, I think it's just them two in the East right now. Philly's a dark horse, definitely, because we're counting them out. But I think the East runs through the Celtics or the Bucks.
John, what do you think?
Mr. Dehls, this Bucks team
Me and Rip look alike. So.
Yeah, we do. We're both handsome.
is scary. You add in Jay Crowder into this fold.
Holy shit.
This is the opening argument.
You added Jay Crowder.
For a defense that already has Drew Holiday, Giannis, Pat Connaughton, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton's a good defender. The only missing piece is Chris Middleton. He's going to have the stinkers, but his presence alone takes so much pressure off of Drew Holiday. When it's alleviated and he's got more of the playmaking role, the half-court offense is good enough. And let me tell you, in the half-court defensively, we know the Eastern Conference is going to come down to 2 teams. The Cavaliers are a sneaky third. I like the Knicks. I like a couple of other teams in the Knicks, but we know it's going to be the Bucks and the Celtics. Even if Chris Middleton's not in the lineup, I think they beat the Cavaliers. In the half court, the Bucks are the best defense in the NBA. And when your defense is so good where you can take Jason Tatum out of a game, which we've seen in the playoffs.
Drop fucking 45 in Game 6, win or go home.
But that's
Where's
the
the
thing.
46?
Show some respect, John.
We have to be honest. If Jay Crowder's playing him, playing physical,
Stop.
the
Jay
same way-
Crowder.
Stop,
I was told
John,
that
stop.
Drew Holiday and Wes Matthews were supposed to stop Jason Tatum. You
did.
told me that.
For-
And
Game
Wes
number 2?
Matthews in that
was
series.
game- I think it was
had
game
46, my bad. Not 45, 46.
And then they folded. It happened.
Come on.
Hey,
that's-
Drew's a better response.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I said Drew.
7
Drew's
for
a-
15
That is-
from 3.
But you told me,
That-
bro, Wes Matthews is doing a good job, bro.
Did he
Imagine
not
Drew
do-
Holiday.
Game 1, did he not do a good job?
Yeah,
And then
game
after-
1.
Yeah, he got cooked after that. What do you want me to do?
Game 1 and Game 3, that's really
He's
We're taking a
100.
victory lap on a game 1.
Well, it was lit.
Have some
It was-
class.
It was up. Oh, the Lakers guy. Class.
And that is where my argument begins. Because Brook Lopez last year is not the Brook Lopez of this year. He has been a defensive player of the year. His rim protection, he's moving better. He has a year off back surgery. I don't care how old he is playing at an incredible level on that side
He
of the
can
ball.
stroke it.
And he can stroke
That brother
it.
can stroke it.
So the reason I mentioned Jay Crowder is because now Drew Holiday, doesn't have to take on that assignment at all. You can have
He will.
if you want him
have
to,
to.
he
You
can.
have to.
Believe me, believe me, he's gonna get into Jalen Brown's cookie jar. He's gonna.
Oh
get
no,
in there.
but he has. Drew has
Jalen
to
Brown.
take Jason Tatum.
Respect Jalen Brown.
He has to.
This is Drew Holiday we're talking about in the playoffs.
Talking about Jalen Brown.
We're
It's
talking
the same
about
respect.
two
We're
We're talking
elite
about
players.
Jalen Brown.
If Jalen
Okay,
Brown,
but
just
Jalen
had
Brown against
any
elite
sort of
defenders, we
ball
saw it versus
security,
Victor Oladipo. We saw against many guys. Drew Holiday.
We saw
gave
Oladipo
him a
pluck
tough
him
time.
like good 25 times every time he was
Because
guarding.
his handle is careless.
It was kind of. It was really easy though. He was just like I don't know what it was.
But now he's a better scorer.
He's not a better point. I think
he was last year.
He's a better scorer. Ball
Yeah, but
handlers.
it's still. He's
Nah,
still
that's
the
why
same.
I was very careful. with
He's
my
a better
words.
shooter now. Well, his 3-point percentage dropped. He's just a better scorer. Yeah, it's weird. He's a better
Yeah, John,
scorer.
I'm sorry.
3-point percentage dropped. I don't know.
Drew can get underneath Jalen, and for the Celtics, we know how great this team is.
Wild.
Wild.
Yeah, John. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was immature of us.
The little man always wins.
That was nuts. That was nuts.
So I say all of that because the Celtics are a team that relies on 3-point shooting and variance.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get physical with Tatum and bump him off his spots and make it tougher in his drives, Tatum doesn't have that elite skill that he can rely on in those moments where against an elite defense, that level
Stop.
of
He
competition.
dropped 46 in a game 6
stop.
to go home.
But that was against a Bucks
him
defense
finish,
that
let him
did
finish,
not
let him
have the
finish.
perimeter defense. They did not. They had no Chris Middleton.
Let him
They had
finish,
no
let
Jay
him
Crowder.
finish, let
That's
him
two
finish, let him
starters. You guys were fully healthy. And Robert Williams back.
Robert
in the
Williams
mix.
was hurt.
Joel, let him
This
finish.
year-
He's playing 10 minutes to see.
This
You know
year
he's
he's
never
still
gonna let him
working off the
finish. This is
tour
Celtics
meniscus.
topic.
So I know I'm coming at you because you're a Celtics believer and you should be. But we have to acknowledge there's not a team in the NBA that matches up better against the Celtics than the Bucks.
Agreed.
And when you talk about how good Jason Tatum is, top 10 player, we're talking about Giannis, defensive
that
player of the
number
year.
up.
We're talking
Top
about
10.
Brooke.
That number up.
Top 8, top 7. Well, let's do it. Top 6. If we're counting durability. But we know against a defense that is no. We know against a defense like
He
this,
said no. Oh, we blew another lead.
they're going to play physical with Tatum. This is
They are.
one of the most physical teams in the league. He's not going to be able to get to the rim against this team. Brooke Lopez, and I know
Sounds
he's
like you're
gotten
talking about
better
the
this year as a
Warriors.
finisher. I'm talking about the Bucks.
Oh, sorry.
And I hate to say it, Joel's a big PJ Tucker guy. I'm going to sound weird here, but wherever Jay Crowder goes, Memphis, they're a playoff team. Miami,
Finals.
Suns.
This is your
finals,
PJ Tucker.
64 wins. Not my PJ.
Because of Jay Crowder.
No, John
Not
Conchar
because
is
of
my
everybody
PJ
else on
Tucker.
that roster.
I'm sick of him.
Jay Crowder is a needle mover. And in this type of setting, the same way the Celtics brought in Blake Griffin to defend Giannis, in some spurts, 5-10 minutes, believe me, the Bucks brought in Jay Crowder for this very series. And I think when you look at what he brings on the defensive end, coinciding with the potential of Chris Middleton being healthy, which he started playing more games, he's getting a little bit more continuity, a little bit more work in. The Bucks are the team to beat in the East.
If Jay Crowder went to the Cavs, would that move the needle enough for them being in contention?
I would have loved that move.
I would have loved
too.
that. Oh, believe me.
I'm just trying to gauge because Jay Crowder, he's a good player, but let's not act like if he would have went some middling team, he puts them over the top. He joined really good teams.
Oh, yeah, and this is Giannis Antetokounmpo who's getting the PJ Tucker piece. you know?
I don't disagree.
This is Giannis.
Yes, for
Best
sure.
player in the world.
No, that's why it's not Jay
Jay
Crowder.
Crowder's
it's the
defense
teams.
is not like that of PJ Tucker.
But it's the role that he plays, that physicality, that bumping, that bruising.
He's
that
way better
toughness.
offensively. I mean, not that
Oh,
he's any
yeah.
great
He
offensive
can-
player.
Compression
no,
also
the gap.
matters.
Yeah.
Talk
There's a
about
gap.
talk about stroking it. He helped he get to the finals with that 3-point
He
shot.
did. I was there.
All right, Joel, now it's your time. Come on.
Listen, John, I don't have an issue with the whole Bucks. If you want to argue Bucks over Celtics, I have no problem with that. The Bucks are a phenomenal 11-game winning streak, but I don't appreciate the Jason Tatum disrespect. Like we didn't see him last season against the Bucks do his thing, multiple 30-point games, 46 in a closeout game, game 6 at home in Milwaukee. He put up 46, shot over or 50% from 3, played out of his mind.
Oh, 50% from 3.
46, whatever. What was it?
That's not the
Oh,
point.
sorry.
3-point shooting.
Yes.
Different Bucks defense.
We're the best 3-point shooting team in the league.
They allowed a lot of threes.
And the entire series, that's why they lost game 7.
They're clowns.
Because
Oh,
of
yeah.
the 3-point shooting.
time.
So listen, if you want to take the Bucks, that's one thing, but I'm not going to sit here and let you disrespect my GOAT, Jason Tatum and pretend that he can't do it or he hasn't done it against the Bucks. He has done it against the Bucks. He can show up. You could throw your strays against the Warriors. He's in his head. I get that, and he deserves that. But for the Bucks, he's proven himself that he could get over that defense. And listen, Jay Crowder for sure is an upgrade for this team on the wing. Chris Middleton will be there, but let's not act like Drew Holiday is still going to be the main piece guarding him on the defensive side of the ball. He's going to give him fits for sure. Drew's a great defender, but Tatum is going to get his. He's not going to go out there and shoot 4 for 17 or something like that. So just want to get that off my chest because this is a Bucks topic.
Yes, and speaking of the Bucks, Jingle and Joe's in the mix too off the bench and pick and roll.
Joe Ingles. Okay.
Joe Ingles can stroke it.
He can't defend.
On this Bucks defense, you don't need him to.
So I looked up
Need
this,
to shoot him.
I wanted to look up this stat, and I found it. Field goal percentages when guarded by Drew Holiday this playoffs. 28%.
Past one.
The one there.
Got it.
28% Zach LaVine, garbage. 30% Jason Tatum, not ideal. 38% DeMar DeRozan, garbage. 38.5% Jalen Brown, not ideal. Players are shooting 30.6% overall versus Drew.
This was the last year's playoffs?
Yes.
That's fair.
He was doing this thing.
Let's talk about the Bucks. Yeah, that was never the question. This falls right in line with Middleton coming back. He came back 11 games ago, and they're on an 11-game winning streak. Now, it's not that he's been put in the starting lineup. He's been coming off the bench for these 11 games, but his presence has obviously been felt. They've needed someone who could create their own shot, an offensive player. Obviously gives you defense too, but it really felt like they were missing another offensive piece when it's really just Giannis playing bully ball, being a running back. Credit to Rib, as he told me that. And Drew Holiday, who could obviously create for himself too. But Middleton coming off the bench, once his minutes has been upped, he was starting around 10 minutes, 15. He's playing around 20, 25 minutes right now. He's averaging 18, 19 points a game. Pretty efficient for the most part. And overall, he's been a big help to this team. Obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup this season, missed the playoffs last season. So as long as he could be healthy, we know the impact Middleton can have, especially if you are a Bucks fan or Bucks supporter, you're going to be looking at this series last year against the Celtics and saying, we're missing our second best player. If we have him this year, we could get over them in 6-7. I get that. But it's also Giannis just putting up ridiculous numbers over this stretch. 37 points per game in these last 11 games, which is the highest scoring average
in the world
during a team's 11-game win streak in NBA history. Also averaging 13 rebounds, 6 assists, damn near 60% from the field. Giannis has been ridiculous. I was giving him some shit early in the year. Not shit, but we had a nitpick early in the year when we were doing MVPs, all-star starters, and while Giannis was putting up great numbers, it was his least efficient season in the last 5, 6, 7 years. His efficiency is getting there now. Not that I ever doubted it would, but when we had a nitpick, I want to, at least make up for that because I was talking shit because I like to talk shit on Giannis. And Drew Holiday has been... Why?
Why?
I'm a Celtic fan.
So?
He's our biggest rival in the East right now.
They got to prepare for part 4 this year.
Yeah, and Drew Holiday, obviously been fantastic. He dropped 40 last night against us to beat Sam Hauser, Mike Muscala, Payne Pritchard, and those boys. But great, obviously great defensive. Derek White, of course. But honestly, it's just this Bucks defense is ridiculous. I think they're third right now in defensive efficiency, but you can make the argument they're the best defense. Personnel-wise, I mean, they match up, like you mentioned, perfectly with the Celtics. They have guys who could guard down low. They have guys who could guard on the perimeter. You have Giannis and Brook. Like, the defense they could play and the lineups they could put out there are going to give fits to any offense in this league. It doesn't matter who you have out there. Their defensive lineups are fantastic. Offensively is the one area of the Bucks that you worry about because when things are set in the half court and you don't have Giannis at full steam just running into the paint and causing fouls and having kick out opportunities, the offense does look a lot different. Now, a lot of that has to do with their defense creating offense, right? You get stops on the defense side of the ball, you could get in transition. The Bucks, I knew they were always going to be here, right? You knew eventually they were going to get it together. They were going to go on a run, look like one of the best teams in basketball. Ever since the KD and Kyrie shit kind of blew up, you knew it was going to be Bucks and Celtics, right? We do have respect for the Sixers and those teams, but these two teams feel like a tier above the rest of the East right now. It's going to be my ECF prediction, as everyone else's is. I'm going to have Boston still, but obviously the Bucks are right on their heels.
So this win streak has been... You have a question for me?
No, go ahead.
All right, this win streak has been extremely impressive to me. For the teams that they've beaten, they beat Boston, they beat LA twice,
Backups.
They beat Los Angeles. That's a huge win right there. I'm talking about my Lakers. They beat Miami.
That's a huge win?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Rex Ryan is the favorite for the Broncos DC.
I wasn't trying to get too crazy. I'm trying to stay on topic, but we're building a super team.
Yo, Rex is hilarious.
Why? For coming to coach the Broncos?
Yeah, just like he's been out of the league for like 7 years.
Wouldn't you want to come coach this defensive
Fuck.
unit.
I'm gonna have to root for the Broncos.
Welcome again. We got you
If you
again.
have to get me. It's
We got
Rex.
you
That's
again.
all you need. You
We
get
got
Rex.
you
You got
again.
a fan.
But to continue talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis has been unbelievable in this 11 game win streak. He has led their team in scoring 9 of these games. He has led them almost every single game, all but 1 in rebounds. His defense is amazing. Someone in the chat mentioned that defensively, he's allowing opponents to shoot 41% from the field against him. He has been continuously the best player in the NBA. People allowed that 3-game skid that he had to impact their thought process about Giannis's game for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you why, because you need a nitpick when you're talking about the greatest in the game. That, I guess, can be understandable. But, of course, he has continued to solidify. To me, he is the best player in the world. Now, to talk about are the Bucks the best team in the NBA, this gets difficult for me. For the fact that last season, I said it. If Middleton is on the court if Middleton is on the floor against the Celtics in that playoff series, I think the Bucks win. I do think so. The Celtics were able to escape because of the lack of defense around the 3-point line. Jason Tatum also did have a virtuoso Game 6. That was one of the better performances, probably the best performance of his career without a doubt. But now you add Middleton back to the mix. Middleton, slowly but surely getting his way back in, has basically played almost every single game in this win streak. He did sit against the Clippers, but he's been pretty sturdy, pretty consistent. And once the minute starts to ramp up, I have no doubt that Middleton will be back to his ways. I worry about the Celtics and the Bucks, man, for the fact that the Bucks, you mentioned it, do have the great defense that can be in response to that amazing Celtics offense. But why I'm not concerned about their offense is because you say that Giannis can't do it, can't be a running back, run into the paint. It does not matter.
Yeah, they won't call
Get the ball, get Giannis in the post. Giannis is doing his thing. He's getting to the basket. It's either he's getting fouled or he's finishing the layup. He's the most
Just hope he's inefficient.
He's the most dominant player in the NBA. Then right next to Zion, there's Giannis, then there's Zion. And in my opinion, it's very firmly still Giannis. He's the most dominant player. He's in a league of his own, of course. He's the most dominant player, not named LeBron, since Shaquille O'Neal, in terms of gets the ball in the paint, backs you up, finishes at the rim. You know it's coming. You simply cannot stop it.
the ball, travels, dunks it.
Just be mad that.
Travels.
Oh, so
Offense. Don't forget the offensive foul.
so he's not
Don't forget the
skillful.
push off.
So he's not skillful.
Huh?
He's not skillful.
Traveling is a skill.
Getting away with traveling.
Just say you're a generational Giannis hater.
I'm a generational hater. We know this. This is my.
How can you hate Giannis?
Let's play this game then. Draymond can get away with some stuff. Well,
Oh, I know.
Just
I
all the time
love
too.
it.
I mean,
Draymond gets away with everything.
these superstars.
That's how I know Giannis is getting away with shit, because I know.
How can you hate on Giannis though?
Who hates on Giannis?
You.
I think he's the second best player in the world
You just said that you're a generational hater though.
by default. But I think he's the second best player in the world.
So that's your cop out for talking shit to him.
He's
So
the
if he
second best player
fails, that's what you said.
What the I don't want him to fail. I don't care.
I want him to fail.
Oh, yeah, let's see. Look, get him.
I guess a little bit more understandable, and honestly, it's a little bit rude.
Obviously, if he fails, I mean, it's great.
That
for
means the
Celtics.
Celtics are going to do successful things, and that's understandable.
Well, him
in that
failing
eye.
or not
But I'm talking
failing-
to you because you don't have a horse in this race.
No, him failing or not failing does nothing to me. Him traveling a lot does something to me. Using that right arm and that running back, halfback dive, just going down the lane.
His Euro step's probably the most dominant move in the game right now.
It probably is, because it's a halfback dive. He tucks the ball and he runs like Derek fucking Henry. Yeah.
You've probably been one of those guys that would complain about Shaquille O'Neal's game too.
No, because Shaquille, boom, he doesn't travel.
Is it Giannis's fault that his footwork is meticulous?
You are sick.
Bro, I'm
You are
asking.
sick.
I'm asking.
Nah, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
No, but please don't say his footwork is meticulous.
It is.
He indeed travels every time he gets the ball.
I don't see it.
You don't see it. Oh my
You're a
God.
LeBron guy. Of course you don't see it. That guy been traveling for years. That 4-step on a fast break when he dunks. I get it.
When you become the GOAT, you're allowed a little bit of leeway.
I respect that.
Giannis
You're
the
right.
GOAT?
That's all I'm saying. He's on his way to being a top 10 player, is he not?
It's not the GOAT.
He is on the way. I mean,
on the
this
track.
resume this early is insane. But the Bucks, I don't want to go right now and say that they're the best team in the NBA. I would not say that. I think the Celtics still do have ownership to that claim. But come playoff time,
It's gonna be a dogfight.
I get scared.
It's gonna be a dogfight.
I get scared. I'm optimistic and I believe in Jason Tatum's abilities. I do. But this defense that Milwaukee puts out every single night is scary, and I trust that offense because of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. It's that simple.
I just want to give the Celtics defense some love too, because the Bucks
They deserve
deserve
it.
it, but
No,
the
you're right.
Celtics defensively, let's not act like there's some slouches. Everybody that the Celtics are going to put on the court is going to be able to defend. It doesn't matter who it is, unless Pritchard gets like 5 minutes or some shit. But other than that, Tatum, Brown, Brogdon, White, Grant, Rob, it doesn't matter. Whoever's out there is going to be able to guard. Is going to be able to switch. So we're going to give the Bucks their credit because they've been great defensively. But the Celtics have been really, since Rob Williams came back specifically, a top 5 defensive unit in the league.
And Blake Griffin's another guy. I don't mean to belabor the point.
He's been able to shoot. He's been shooting well.
Blake was a guy that in Detroit and in Brooklyn did a very good job. Even if Giannis is giving him 40 points.
Limited minutes. Do your thing.
That's what he's going to need. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact we're having these two teams, the Bucks don't get as much hype as Celtic fans, not as much national media attention, but they're every bit as good. For
sure.
And I'm very compelled to see what type of lineups the Bucks. I know they're going to attack Grayson Allen with maniacal intent, but Grayson brings the shooting, Joe Ingles brings the shooting, Javon Carter can get hot. I mean, that Bucks team is deep. Very underrated bench.
I'm with you there. All right, so we're going to move on. And before we go on.
I have to take a piss.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
Here we
perfect
go.
timing. It's okay. Go ahead.
we
So we're going to do the Super Chats.
Oh, better
Yeah,
bet.
so before we do This Week in the NBA, we're going to read some Super Chats. Of course, Santos Lopez, pick
Go.
side legend.
Speaking of the Celtics, my jersey should be here tomorrow, I think.
Tough,
There you go.
tough.
Very excited.
That's awesome. Finally getting the Tatum.
Yes.
Nice. That's been years in the making. Hopefully you don't jinx. You have a jinx.
If I buy it.
Understand. All right. Let's hope
Also,
that's the
I
case.
bought, knock on wood, bought the Peter Alonso jersey last year. He had a great season this past season. So I'm
When
hoping
did you get it? I'm curious.
Christmas of last year. So I
Okay.
get the full
All right,
season.
there you go. Okay, fair enough. Santos says over under if the show will end in 2 hours. We're already about a.
I
15.
said 2 hours, 15 minutes. We're gonna go over that.
Oh no, it's a smash. Absolutely. DJ the GOAT. You're gonna do fine, Drew. Have fun. P.S. Hold that Super Bowl L, Riv. Riv's not here to say that. That's unfortunate, but I appreciate the kind words, man. It's been a little bit of a
doing your
learning
thing.
curve.
You're
I
doing your
appreciate
thing.
that. Thank you. Santos, another donation, $5. Thank you very much,
Santos
King.
the GOAT.
Q Bigavelli, he says, all my stock might be going into Phoenix. Josh Okogie has been playing great minutes, and T. Ross actually is a bucket. Who knew Reddish was good with the shrug emojis? They said, hold that Super Bowl L, Riv. How do you feel about that?
We'll be back. You saw Jalen
Y'all
Hurts
will be
quote.
back.
We'll be back.
Y'all will be back. Mo donated $2. Thank you very much. Someone tell Jackson Mahomes that the Bulls are poop emoji. I hope, and I really hope, that he is not talking about me because I have nothing to do with the Bulls. I'm going to assume he's talking about you, Riv, but I don't know
said
how
Jackson
you are
Mahomes.
Jackson Mahomes.
Does that look like Jackson Mahomes?
No, he said, someone tell Jackson Mahomes that the Bulls are poop emoji.
That must be me. That's insane.
That is insane. That is
You
insane.
guys were up 20 on the Pacers.
I said we blow it.
I know.
Gerardo donated $1.99. Thank you very much. Love the content. All love from Chicago. Keep it up. We will. Hugh Bigavelli donated again $1.99. Never mind. He sold Kleber. I'm dead. He said Kleber. I'm dead. He was thinking that we were talking about Maxi, and then you were talking about Maxi Kleber. Q Bigavelli, preach, John. $1.99. Bigavelli, shout out to you.
I wonder what he said or what we're talking about.
It's probably a JaVale McGee point.
Okay.
He was talking about defense and being able to defend Kawhi Leonard. Killer K donated $1.99. D. dropped 30 in playoff games. Seawood would never.
Respect him.
Mic drop.
I'd expect that you're
You're a
taking
sleeper.
Joel.
You're
You're taking
sleeping.
Joel's position.
I think
You're gonna hype up Christian Wood and shitting on the Celtics.
Six
Shit
man.
on you guys. I just watched Derek White get barbecue
I
chicken
pinned that
in the
one.
finals.
Oh, that's
Pick a
just
side
for the.
legend.
That's shout out to Six Man. Absolutely. Is that Wes?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
shit! Yo, shout out to Wes.
Which one's Wes?
Wes, bro, Six Man. We had him on the show. You talked to him about Jordan Poole.
Yeah. Where's his
Oh,
comment?
got
What
it. He said Jay Crowder turned into Kawhi over the offseason? Question mark.
And also, Jay Crowder's played basketball all year.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, he was trying to make himself throw up to stay in shape, which is not a bad idea.
I am not a fan of
even talk about
bulimia, with all due respect. As first responder Drew, I completely hex that. Deco donated $4.99. He said Jokic clears Giannis offensively. That was never a question.
Yep.
Santos donated again. This guy is
Fucking
just the
dope.
greatest there ever was. $5. That Tatum jersey is going to look good on that wall.
Facts. He did have a stipulation about signing the jersey. He said I have to wear it on an episode, and then it goes up on the wall.
I really am starting to seem more and more like a Luka Doncic hater for the fact that I took the Luka jersey off the wall to ensure that we got our boy Magic up there. Shout out to a legend.
Luka still has his little.
He does. Is
Funko
he in
or
there?
whatever.
Yes, sir.
You can't see him because you're covering his head. You're covering the jersey, John. Your head is. A Cubic Gavelli donated a $1.99 again. He said, I was talking about John's Nets playoff take.
Oh, that was facts.
Oof.
Sorry, what was your next?
You were
Oh, with
mentioning the point,
Harden.
Mavericks
yeah,
22nd. That's 2021 and 23rd.
All right, so this week in the NBA, Joel, I'm going to start with you.
Russell Westbrook is currently a member of the Utah Jazz, but probably not for long. There is expectations he gets bought out. And Woj put it very nicely. He said Russell Westbrook can put himself in position to sit out this year and choose his team in the offseason. I think that's just a nice way of saying he really doesn't have any suitors right now. I mean, if you're a contending team, the Clippers have been rumored. It's very hard to fit Russell Westbrook. Fuck, I keep wanting to say Wilson. Russell Westbrook into your rotation. Of course, into your rotation and in closing lineups, and he can't really shoot, he can't really defend. So he could go to a team like Rivs Bulls, where they're just trying to stay afloat and trying to make a play-in / playoff push. That probably makes the most sense. I almost feel like if he went to the Clippers, it might do more of a negative than a positive.
All right, John, go ahead.
You guys remember the pre-draft Zion Williamson hype?
Of course, how could you forget?
I mean, we're talking about a generational player.
Of course. Do you remember the iconic viral pic of him, media availability, crowds of people, and then to his right was Goga Bitadze, or to his left, Goga Bitadze? So I think a lot of people, 18th overall pick out of Georgia, not the college, but the country, Goga Bitadze, waived by the Pacers after 4 years there, couldn't crack into the rotation as the backup center. Now he goes to Orlando to replace Mo Bamba. It's a fascinating thing because I thought Goga was going to be a pretty good player. Didn't happen in Indiana, but now with the Magic, it's a chance.
Is he going to get minutes?
I don't know. He's 23 years old. He couldn't shoot in Indiana, but I like to think he's better than Mo Wagner. So I think he will get some opportunity, but that's something I think back to that. His best moment in the NBA was cursing off his head coach in the middle of the games. I'm hoping that can hopefully change him.
Tatum has 36 right now. You better respect him.
It's good. I'm watching Jalen Brunson cook instead, so I'll watch that
We're
later.
playing the Pistons. So.
Yeah.
Stephen Wardell Curry. He has planned to get reevaluated after the All-Star break.
Your daddy.
Yeah, my dad indeed. He's already made it clear he will not play in the Lakers game when we come back. This injury is a little different than the one before because the ligaments can heal on their own, and he cannot fully play until it's healed. With the shoulder injury, he was able to still play and let it heal up. With this one, he has to wait till it fully heals until he can play. So the timetable still hasn't been set, but Steph is taking it cautious. He said he's very confident that he'll be back soon on the court. We miss you, Steph. Miss you.
So my this week in the NBA, surprise, surprise, the center around the Lakers. We've been struggling.
They got smoked out the other day.
We
Talk
did.
about that.
It was really, really hard to watch.
Sure, you
so I
banks.
didn't. I turned it off when I saw we were down 20 at the end of the second quarter. I did not have any business watching that. I took the under on Damian Lillard, as you guys know. Under PRA, it was 49.5. I said, there's absolutely no way in hell he does it 2 nights in a row, hits the PRA. He hit it when it was 48.5. It was 49. Against the Lakers, he has 30 in the first half. He hit 8 3-pointers, and he finishes with a PRA of 51. It was fucking painful. But to talk about my Lakers, apparently it was known that LeBron James had this ankle injury for a while. And Darvin Ham was still sending him out there, playing him 40 minutes a game. Now, I'm not overly upset at Darvin Ham because, one, probably LeBron's going to him and saying, hey, I'm good to go. Let me play. The team needs me. But why it's upsetting is for the fact that the Lakers were so bad that they legitimately had zero choice but to throw LeBron out there because he just gives them the only chance to compete in games, not win games, to compete in games. Because even LeBron at his best, all the superpowers in the world, he still at this age cannot will this Lakers team to victory night in, night out like we've seen in the past. It's just not the same LeBron defensively. He gives his 100% on offense because offensively we lack talent significantly, at least when LeBron James was playing. I like the moves that we acquired in the trade deadline, absolutely. But during that span before the deadline when we desperately needed offense, we needed LeBron to basically average over 30 every single game if we wanted to even be in the game. Yeah. But this was all while he had an ankle injury that has kept him out for 3 straight games. He should return tonight, God willing. Is as of right now where we stand, unless I check, LeBron is playing against the Pelicans. But it really is just upsetting to me that at 38 years old, LeBron simply just did not have the help to be able to miss time with an injury just to give him a game or two. But not only just give him a game or two, that didn't happen. He's playing 40 minutes a night. Now, the second thing I wanted to do was mention Damian Lillard and the tear that he's been on. Of course, I just mentioned how he's ruined my betting in terms of Boom Fantasy. But Damian Lillard and the stretch that he's been on in 2023, in his last 19 games, he is 702 points in this 19-game stretch. 34 points, 30 points, 50, 36, 40, 44, 25, 24, 37, 60, 30, 42, 42, 29, 40, 28, 33, 38, 40. Damian Lillard's gotten to the point where his points per game, the over-under is at 35.5 every single night.
Nuts.
I don't know if I've ever seen that in my life.
You might be seeing the best version of Dame.
And I was getting a little bit of feedback that me saying Damian Lillard deserves the starting spot over SGA and John Morant because I believe Damian Lillard simply has been better of those three guys. I can understand SGA has overachieved with the Thunder, no doubt, and his performances that he's put forth have been phenomenal. The defense that he supplies is also great. But what Damian's doing offensively is historic.
Career high 65% at the rim, 50% on long mid-range twos, 48% from mid-range. The guy, top 3 point guard, he's better than Ja, he's better than Trey. We're seeing peak Dame at 32, and it's kind of a travesty that the Blazers are not even in the play-in tournament.
His true shooting is 64% for a guard.
Stupid.
That is dumb.
I mean,
The only player in that range or of that, anywhere near close to that number at a guard is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So for Dame to be doing this, I got to give acknowledgement. I obviously was joking about me being upset about the over-unders. I like to win.
What?
64% true shooting.
SGA is at 62.
Yeah, Lucas
With
at
no
61. Oh, he's got the mid-range game.
I hit a 3.
Nah,
His mid-range game is nice, but his finishing at the basket is dumb.
Although,
It's dumb. It's dumb.
You said Dame top 3? Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I think Dame deserves to be the starter in the All-Star game
Over who?
over SGA or Ja.
Okay. I
Because obviously Steph Curry deserves it, no doubt about it. We're talking
I thought
about
Luka started too.
Luka is starting. That's already locked.
It could be
SGA and Dame are close
They are, but I feel like just the performances that we've seen
lately. But SGA has been bugging all year.
He was.
Yeah, it's close. I ain't mad at you about that.
The only one close in terms of total points since the start of 2023
Brunson?
is Jalen Brunson. And it's like 200 points, the difference between number 1 and number 2. Dame's just been in a class of his own recently. Now, to speak about Jalen Brunson, right? We just spoke about him. Now we're going to transition to speak about Jalen Brunson and this heater that he's been on since 2023, a little bit beyond that. Jalen Brunson has been unbelievable. Raven, I'm going to start with you. Talk to me about Jalen Brunson. Talk to me about the Knicks outlook. What does the addition of Jalen Brunson mean for the Knicks come playoff time?
I'm pissed.
I bet.
I am
I bet.
fucking pissed.
I tried to tell you.
You did? Really?
I definitely did. Where Joel likes to get a lot of credit, I wanted to make this the time where I maximized this opportunity. I was huge on Jalen Brunson coming to the Knicks. They needed a point guard desperately. They've needed it for years now.
No, yeah, Brunson's been great. You know, his ability, his inside-outside game is amazing. His twitchy offense ability to break down defenders, that in and out with the left, the hezzy with the left. You know, I'm a bad guy, and his bag is magnificent. I mean,
It's so crazy that our most famous clip, you're making fun of me for
You're a bad guy,
guy. Meanwhile, you're the originator. Of being
yeah.
a
I was
bad
watching
guy.
that today, actually.
yeah, I'm the king of bags. Jalen Brunson, man, he's what they've needed. A closer, a guy who can create offense at will, a guy who can space the floor, just their leader, their heart and soul. And Julius Randle, let's not sleep on Julius Randle.
Talk
You
to
know,
him.
his production this year has created a sort of a dynamic duo. They're two of the most double-teamed duos in the NBA. So the fact that they're doing that while still scoring at an efficient rate and they're winning basketball games, I think that goes to show how improved both guys have been in terms of decision making, reading the defense, reading the game better. And then Jalen Brunson, man, he's been great. I can definitely, you know, I'm not a guy who admits when he's, you know, I'm not a guy who's ashamed of being wrong. I was wrong on Jalen Brunson. I don't care if I'm wrong. You know, you make 1,000 takes a year when you do stuff like this, and you're not going to be right on 800 of them. You know what I'm saying? And I was wrong on Jalen Brunson. The Knicks are a really good team. Talk about the outlook. It's tough because they got some money filled up with these guys. You know, Evan Fournier will be gone soon, but you just paid RJ Barrett, and his direction doesn't look good. I mean, his projection as a basketball player, he's not a good defender anymore. He's not a good creator of offense. His shooting is really stinky. His mechanics suck. His bag indeed sucks. So RJ Barrett as a third guy, you would think in a different multiverse is really good. But right now it's not. And then you got guys like Quentin Grimes, who's really good. I think arguably you can make the argument he's better for them than RJ Barrett. Emmanuel Quickly, who's a great defender when he plays, good playmaker, heat stroker of a shooter. He's a good player. I think it's tough. Mitch Robinson, unfortunately, he's not always. He's like a Rob Williams. He's always hurt, but when he's there defensively, they're better than when he's not there. And he's a great rim protector. The Knicks are going to be a good team. It's just about they need a star, man. I think Jalen Brunson and Randall can be a number 2 and a number 3. I think that one star elevates them. Whoever it be, that one star elevates them to a different stratosphere. I mean, this is a team that can make any series in the playoffs in the East, a tough 6-7 game series. I don't think they could beat the Cavs. I don't think they could beat the Bucks. I don't think they could beat the Celtics.
They can't beat the Bucks. Excuse me, not the Bucks. The Cavs.
I'm saying I would pick the Cavs.
Okay.
But I think they would make any series tough. They're going to make any series a dogfight because they're a grit and grind type of dirty team. But the outlook, Jesus Christ, is different because they have a lot of draft capital and they'll have flexibility down the road. But getting Jalen Brunson was huge, and that's an A+ for them.
Jalen Brunson has been outstanding this season. If you're a point guard, you're above 6 foot, I implore you to go watch this guy's game because everything that Jalen Brunson can maximize, he does. You talked about the bag he's got. There are a few players in the league at his size. They're so stocky, so you can't knock them off their spots, but so shifty. Jalen shoots 50% from mid-range. His shooting at the rim this year is dipped, probably because he's playing at the center at all times, so he's got a center waiting for him in the paint. But nonetheless, Jalen, for years, refined his game to become more of an off-ball player. And now in New York, when when Julius Randle is getting those elbow post-ups, where's Brunson a threat, making rapid decisions, knocking down catch and shoot looks, and attacking closeouts. I talked a lot of trash on Josh Hart, and I might be eating some humble pie here because him and Josh Hart are making up for a lost time. I just can't believe the fact that 7 months ago, when the Knicks missed on Donovan Mitchell, most people thought, man, that's the exact star they're missing. Jalen Brunson has brought 85-90% to the Knicks of what Donovan would have brought to the table. No first-round picks went out the way. Now, Trey and RJ would have been a great thing in the offseason. Let me tell you, selling high just like the bullshit on Patrick Williams, talking about disappointing wins taking the top 4. But Jalen Brunson is the perfect complementary piece. And for the Mavericks, they saw that last year. They only offered him $55 million. He bet on himself. There was an intangible with Jalen Brunson. There was a confidence. And for this Knicks team, they have the best point guard since the turn of the century.
Brunson's been a killer, man. And I was wrong about Brunson, the player, right? I didn't think that he would be this good, averaging 30 in these last, 15, 20 games since 2023 started. You can make the argument he should have been in the All-Star game over Julius Randle. I think he's been the best Knick over Julius Randle. Yeah. These last 2 months, since January 1st, averaging 36 and 4, shooting almost 50% from 3. And it really makes me think what this team can be if they can go get a superstar. Like you mentioned, John, the fact they were able to get Brunson without giving up any of their future, obviously salary cap, $25 million. But even still, you look at $25 million, that looks like a come up for Jalen Brunson with the type of productivity he's putting out on the floor. The one issue I have, or not issue, but I was wrong about Jalen Brunson, the player, but I still think the overall idea of the Knicks was always still right. I think even with Jalen Brunson, their first-round exit, obviously they're more a competitive first-round exit team. Maybe without him, they're a playing team or borderline playing team. With Brunson, you feel pretty confident that they'll be in the first round of the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. Even though I think they're the 9 seed right now. They're 7? Okay. Mm-hmm. But the Knicks are a fun team, and it's kind of weird for a Thibodeau team that they're kind of mid defensively. They're 18th defensive rating.
Top 6 in offense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Exactly. That's why it really is a backwards team for a Tom Thibodeau coach team, right? That you would expect to be more grit and grind. It's all defense and rebounding, and on the other side, it's kind of like barbaric at some points, and his rotations could be questionable at times. But what Brunson's brought to this team and the city, I think, more than anything, is just some hope, some positivity, right? You have Julius Randle, his first year spectacular. His second season was a borderline disaster. You draft RJ Barrett, number 3 overall. You see some progression, but now he's kind of flattened out.
First year was bad. Second year was fantastic.
Amazing. And then third year,
Randle,
2020 was quite forgettable.
Yes. And then RJ Barrett, you drafted number 3 overall. You're having all of this hope that he could be the franchise, the superstar, be the best player in a championship team, the 2 guys that go before him. And unfortunately, he's kind of plateaued at this point and is kind of looked at as, I don't know what to say what could have been, but he almost is being ruled out at this point. We're not really looking at RJ saying he could progress, he could become better, be more efficient.
Give me a boom dub.
Finally, bro.
We'll take that.
There we go.
We'll take that. But overall, I think, as I think Riv mentioned, in the East, Bucks, Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, Cavs, they all feel like a tier above this Knicks team. I do agree that Brunson maybe gives you about 80% of Mitchell, but that 20% matters a lot, right? Donovan Mitchell, what he could do, especially in the playoffs. Not that Brunson can't elevate his game. We saw that last season with the Dallas Mavericks, but it does feel like the Cavs, possibly the one team that could get past. But I just look at that team overall. There's really nothing on the Knicks I look at and say, I wish I had this over anything on the Cavaliers. You have the Twin Towers down low. You have playmakers in Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Okoro has been playing a lot better this season than he has in the past two. So I look at that Cleveland team as really the only one they probably have a chance with. The Sixers maybe an outside chance. I just think Embiid would really dominate, even with Mitchell Robinson being there. But I think if you're a Knicks fan, you obviously have to be happy. This is a come up of a contract, $25 million per season for one of the best point guards in the NBA. As we've mentioned, all of the draft picks. So next offseason, hopefully go out, get a superstar, pair him with Jalen Brunson. Now all of a sudden, Randall's your third best player. RJ Barrett, there's no pressure on him. Then you can see what you can do in the East.
Jalen Brunson in his last 20 games is averaging over 30 points per game, almost 6 assists, 4 rebounds. In that span, he's shooting 51% from the field, 47% from 3, and this is on 5 attempts. He has been unbelievable. And I firmly believe this, especially with the Nets essentially completely altering their roster. I tweeted this also. The Knicks are a playoff lock for me. I think the Knicks are 100% a top 6 playoff lock. This offense has been fantastic, led by Jalen Brunson recently, but Riv said it perfectly. You cannot ignore what Julius Randle has done this year consistently, night in, night out. You can bank that he will have at least 25. He has been phenomenal. Now, you guys also did allude to this a little bit. Defensively, I'm shocked that they are not nearly as good as they should be, but it makes a little bit of sense. They are a little bit undersized at the guard position. We can show some respect to Quentin Grimes, though. Defensively, he is awesome. You would like that Quentin's three-point shooting would be a little bit better, but right now it hovers around 33, 34%.
Might be better than RJ.
That's where I really want to get to, too, because RJ's defense is very solid, but his inconsistency offensively is very disheartening for me because I believed in RJ and I believed in his progression, especially after last year where the break of 2022 started. RJ was a different player offensively, scoring much more efficiently. Yeah, I really don't want. I definitely am not preying on RJ's downfall. I definitely wanted to see him do well. You don't get a nickname like Star J, and unfortunately, you're not a star. It's really disappointing.
You got the nickname before you proved it.
How awesome is it, though? Keep it stacked. It's one of the best I've ever heard. But really, it is dependent on RJ whether they are going to make it past the first round, because what they are missing is a third option, a strong third option. And RJ right now just happens to be that third option. It just can't be. It simply cannot be. Where we can appreciate what the Knicks are doing. Yes, I do believe that they will be a top 6 lock. It still does not mean that they're getting past the first round. But to talk about Jalen Brunson, we have a would you rather. Jalen Brunson edition.
Oh, let's do it.
2.0.
2.0, absolutely. But I wanted to make sure that we did this now to pay him the respect that he deserves, because what he has been doing recently.
Shame doing this without Joel. He would just be in his
That's also another reason why I decided to do this.
We have to give Joel a special shout out because he was the one that inaugurated the Would You Rather trend. He was the one that called out Jalen Brunson this offseason, saying, look what he did without Luka. Look what he did in the playoffs, cooking Donovan Mitchell. And RJ Barrett, Joel was on for a little bit. He was off. He was right about RJ too. And, we got to give him a little tribute here.
He was right, then wrong, then right.
Round of applause for Joel, absolutely. He flipped
that was
so
quick.
He flipped so
quick.
I'll be honest with you, he can't get RJ Barrett.
No, what are we doing?
He can't get RJ Barrett.
Most improved player.
Star
I'm talking to you, RJ Barrett. That's going to be you. And then 2 months in, he was done. And then RJ started to play great basketball. And then he was caught in limbo. I don't know what to do.
Last year, he was going nuts.
And then suddenly, that's it. He's done on RJ. Suddenly, he's done on RJ.
He can get Jalen Brunson, though, undoubtedly.
Oh, Jalen Brunson, he gets the W. Against Utah, I definitely did question it because Utah's defense was piss poor. But I never questioned the move to the Knicks because I understood they needed a point guard.
Facts.
Absolutely. But 100%, Joel Moran, I know you're listening. We miss you, Ken.
And fun fact, before we jump into this, defense. Jalen Brunson this year, second in charges, second in contested threes. The one player ahead of him is Evan Mobley in contested threes.
He may be undersized, but you give effort.
Yes.
And that's all you can ask for, especially for undersized guards. So again, this is Would You Rather Jalen Brunson edition.
shit.
2.0.
First name
Absolutely,
up,
We're going to do that.
Darius Garland.
Oh, Darius Garland.
Sorry. I love him, but Darius Garland.
Man, this season Brunson's been better. I don't think
That's
there's
why
much
I said
debating
it.
that.
I think we understand that talent-wise, you go with
Easily.
Garland.
Yes, in a vacuum, it's Garland, but this season Jalen Brunson has been better.
One guy's the number one, the other guy's number two, playing behind Donovan Mitchell. So, and Garland's been heating
Jalen
up
Brown's
lately.
getting 27 as number 2.
Well, Jalen Brown's a dynamic scorer. Garland's a dynamic scorer and playmaker.
That's fair. How many assists
And
is he averaging,
Garland,
you know?
he fucked up his eye earlier in the year.
He
did.
Laceration, man.
He
What a
did.
Rough injury.
I would go Garland comfortably for me.
Comfortably.
I think Garland is. I have Garland way higher than most. His stats don't show what he actually is. As
I
a
agree with
player.
that.
So I have him way higher than most. So
Understandable.
I don't mind you having Brunson over him. He's been amazing.
I have Darius Garland, but I simply had him here because I understand that people don't really speak that highly of Darius Garland for whatever reason. It's understandable that Donovan Mitchell is the best player on his team, but Darius Garland last year, what he was able to do with this Cavs unit was impressive in and of its own right.
he didn't-
We don't talk about that game against Atlanta. We don't do it. We don't
They
do it
lost.
because it was horrific. It was horrific. But I do understand his talent.
And that
it
Nets
is close,
game,
though.
That Nets game last
Oh,
year.
no, he ate.
That was
He went crazy.
ridiculous.
He can do what Brunson can do inside and out, but he's skinnier. He's faster. His handles is way more tighter.
More athletic.
He's a better playmaker.
By far. Low-key a better shooter at times.
Oh, better shooter.
Yeah, so it's like
Brunson has been amazing shooting this
What-
year,
3-point.
though.
3-point.
Yeah,
He's got
what
that
Garland can do to a defense in terms of just breaking him down and then in the pick and roll. He's just
Shooting
so good.
is close, bro. I'm being
Brunson's been
honest.
shooting his
Brunson's
ass
been
off.
unbelievable.
41
Oh,
or
yeah,
2% on
Brunson's
the year
been
from
amazing.
3.
I
just
said it in his
think
last 20,
Garland-
he's shooting 47%.
I think
We're
Garland's a
comparing
better
two
pure
elite point
shooter.
guards.
Yeah.
Yeah?
To what?
We're comparing 2 elite point guards.
Oh, I think you said something else. I think Garland's a better pure shooter.
Next name, Kyle Lowry.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
I needed a clean W for Jalen Brunson. I needed a clean W.
Lowry.
Next name, Jamal Murray.
I lean Brunson.
Yeah, I would say for this year, especially durability too, you go Brunson.
I'll go Brunson.
I'm going Jamal Murray. I
Really?
understand
Respects.
who he is when he's healthy. He's a savage.
He is.
I understand that they still haven't really they haven't cut the cuffs off of him and they haven't let him go fully, but I think that at their best, Jamal Murray's still better. Next name, Tyler Hero.
Jalen Brunson.
I'm going Brunson.
Where are you going?
I'm going Brunson. I
Okay. Why?
think he's a better scorer. Playmaking is
Oh,
relative-
that's it.
That's all you need?
Because Tyler
Yeah,
Hero's only
that's
a
it.
scorer.
Yeah, that's it. And
That's fair.
playmaking,
He's a good playmaker.
I'm going Brunson.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Next
You
name.
didn't pick Dehls.
Brunson.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear the logic.
Next name. This is really for Riv. Cade Cunningham.
Cade.
What are we talking about? Start a franchise?
Who would you rather?
Brunson. I would rather Cade. Brunson's obviously playing better because he's injured, but Cade 6'7", IQ for the game is nuts.
You want to allow recency bias to enter your head right now.
I just think that this one's tough because Cade wasn't ready to be put in that conversation yet because he was in year one, got hurt, started slow. Then year two, was playing slow, got hurt again. So Brunson's playing better right now. He's the better player right now, but I would take Cade Cunningham.
If the Pistons learn how to build around Cade, I'll take him. But until they figure out that, no, I'm taking Brunson.
Potential could get you killed. Right now, Jalen Brunson's playing an all-star level. We think Cade could get there. We think he could be even better than an all-star. Potential, of course, you would take Cade. But right now, I mean, it's obvious. Cade isn't even playing. Brunson is the better player.
Him being
probably
in
will be
Detroit
for the next
you
couple
said
years.
You said it very perfectly. Being in Detroit does worry me with Cade, but I still believe in Cade's ability. I still believe in his talent. Right now, the obvious answer is Jalen Brunson, but talent and potential, 100%, I lean Cade Cunningham. Next name, Anthony Simons.
RJ the God said, I might be picking others because I don't like the Knicks. I respect that.
Anthony Simons is an interesting one because I think
Y'all fucking with the names?
I like, yeah.
Let's go.
Simons is
Anthony's a
tough.
weird guy to project.
Because when Dame's not there, he is a great playmaker.
He's a great
He really
scorer.
is. He is a
But-
great scorer with Dame.
I think he's better at his best off ball than all.
Okay.
I think his catch and shoot ability is so amazing.
It is.
Dribble off the bounce is nuts. Off the pin downs, I think he's better playing off somebody than being the number one.
Okay.
And Brunson's production as a number one right now is kind of crazy. I would probably go Brunson.
Okay.
I don't view Brunson as a total terrifier defensively, so I'll go with him.
Okay.
Does Simons being 3 years younger move you guys?
Hello.
I love Simons.
I think
Should.
age for guards is interesting.
Every part of me wants to go Simons.
They kind of have the same career arc, honestly.
Yeah. I'll go Brunson.
I think just because I've seen it from Brunson, like Simons could get there for sure, but like is his ceiling Brunson? Can he be beyond that? Can he average 27? Like Brunson's averaging 24 right
As
now.
a guy,
I don't think that would be his best.
27's. Yeah, you think he can average more than 27, Anthony?
No, I think his best attribute and like his best like helping a playoff team isn't 27.
Okay,
And Brunson's a lot more consistent, too.
that's
Facts.
fair.
And Brunson has a better 3-level game.
Okay, I understand what
He
you
has
mean.
a better 3-level
Okay.
game. Get into the paint, mid range, 3-pointer. Brunson is better at breaking down the defender too.
Okay, I'm going Brunson, but I respect and appreciate Simon's game 100%. Next name, Jordan Poole.
Woo!
You know the answer.
I actually don't.
You do know the answer.
I don't either.
Because Jordan Poole is different than Simons.
Right, because Jalen Brunson's a better player.
No, it's different because Jordan Poole's better at getting to the rim. Simons is different. Simons is better. He's a shooter, better catch and shoot. Poole is better at he can break down his defender just as good as Jalen Brunson. He can get
His
to the
handle's
rim.
amazing.
Yeah, handles is there. Consistency is not there though. So I think I got to go Brunson.
Okay,
Really?
that's the answer.
Damn, Mikal Bridges had 45.
Whoa.
He's
and
just
he
so
won.
streaky.
That's actually nasty
damn.
business if Mikal Bridges gets 45.
He was 17 for 22.
Who did he play?
This is what Ben Simmons should be. If he
Fuck no. Ben
Respect.
Simmons has 40.
Mikel at least will let it go from 3.
What's,
he's
who they
got-
play?
Better check.
Heat. 116 to 105.
Jimmy's cooked.
No,
No, I don't know if he's playing.
Jordan Poole has a long way to go. I think you've seen that this year. He has, I think, all NBA upside, everything hit. But Jalen, I'm going Brunson here.
I'm with you.
Damn, I'm surprised neither of you guys took Poole. I think I'm
I'm
going Poole
shocked.
here.
That's the only reason why I
I think I'm
mentioned
going Poole here.
King of turnovers, I don't know.
Really?
I know he's young.
Joel, really?
I see Poole, like Brunson, obviously, like we're talking about them scores, right? Like these are their best trades. Both of them could score. We could talk about Simons without Dame, but look what Poole does. Even with Curry, sometimes he could put up 30. And without, we know the stupid numbers he could put up.
Okay. I'm going
You said-
Jalen Brunson.
You called him. You said he's a turnover king.
Who, Jordan Poole?
No, this guy in front of me.
He did.
He did right.
How many turnovers is he averaging this year?
It's funny. It's funny that he says that.
He's averaging 3 turnovers a game.
No, it's funny. It's funny. Do you consider Giannis a turnover king?
Yeah.
Luca?
Well, there-
Nah. Don't double Kevin Porter.
There's a difference here.
Don't
There's
stutter.
there's a
Kevin Porter
difference
is.
here.
What are you
Let's-
stuttering?
Kevin
What are you
Porter
stuttering for?
Why'd you bring in
stuttering?
Kevin Porter's
Okay.
name with
'Cause he's in the
Luka,
top of the list.
Jokic?
Kevin
He's at the
Porter,
top of the
why
list.
though?
I don't know, he's just there.
Let's sort it out. Kevin Porter, yes. If you are the offense and you average 4 turnovers a game, Trae Young, Luka, James Harden, his peak, Giannis,
Understandable.
no. Because if they're doing everything,
Drew Holiday's an offense.
no.
Okay.
He is the point guard.
But when you are the supernova,
Same amount of turnovers.
As
Jordan Poole.
Drew Holiday.
Yes.
He touches the ball more than Jordan Poole does.
Exactly. No, not really.
He probably does.
Who's another one? Jalen Brown. Well, his only touches is to score. Josh Giddey. He averages 3 turnovers.
Well, Poole is in the top 11 in the league of turnovers.
Yeah.
And all the guys ahead of him are
If you're
like
top
all
11, bro, you turn the ball over a lot.
I just
guys.
think him being called a turnover machine is over exaggeration.
You're top 11.
Because if you see the way he turns the ball over, it's not the same as the way others turn the ball
Okay.
over. Because a lot of his turnovers, honest to God, is just him doing too fucking much, dribbling off his foot or something.
playing with this food.
Yes. Some of these other guys are making bad passes or bad reads. He's just doing too much.
Okay.
But I understand, I guess.
Next name, CJ McCollum.
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I'll take Brunson.
Clearly.
I'd go Brunson as well. And last name, and this one is for Joel Moran, DeJounte Murray.
Brunson.
Oh, you concede. Wow. You concede. This year it's been Brunson, but DeJounte's two-way ability makes things interesting.
Brunson's still a dog.
Yes,
Respect DeJounte.
for sure.
He's been great for them.
They played tonight. Brunson got the W, and actually DeJounte busted his lip. He had to get it stitched up, and it didn't matter.
Well, the first 2 games, DeJounte destroyed the Knicks.
Oh, well, Knicks this year 3-1 versus the Hawks. Let's keep it simple. Brunson over DeJounte.
You're going.
Brunson. But
I am also going
It's the way
Jalen
abilities.
Brunson. Absolutely. That is Would You Rather Jalen Brunson edition. I knew I had some good names here.
Facts.
I knew I had some good names here. I knew it would lead to some good conversation.
That was a solid performance.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I put a lot of work into it. And by a lot of work, I mean, while you guys were talking about Jalen Brunson, I was like, would you rather? Let's do it. Last topic of the show. We're going to talk about All-Star Weekend, All-Star festivities. Now, what I want to talk about mainly with All-Star festivities is I understand I'm one of the few that love All-Star Weekend. I love the All-Star game. It's one of my favorite days of the year, and I say that very passionately. Me and my brother, we sit down, we watch the game together. It's given me a lot of the most enjoyable memories that I can remember when I watch sports. When KD and LeBron strapped up Curry, that was amazing to watch. This most recent one where LeBron obviously hit the game-winning fader over
Sounds like a lot of LeBron.
It just so happens that LeBron also is undefeated since they started this new trend of drafting teams. Le GM
Like
just
2
never
years, 3
fails.
years?
5-0.
Oh, it's been 5
He's
years.
him.
Damn.
Yeah,
Didn't care.
I didn't realize that.
Only time he's undefeated.
Listen, and shout out to Steph Curry for who was the All-Star Game MVP last year. He was historic.
The last hurrahs of
Now-
the awards, you know?
I can also be blatantly honest. I feel like the slam dunk competition has been horrendously put together these last couple
terrible.
of seasons.
We got this show. Mac McClung and Jericho. Is Jericho even in the game?
Jericho Sims is doing the slam dunk competition.
slam dunk.
What a way to market
So
the
the
NBA.
participants are Kenyon Martin Jr., Mac McClung, Trey Murphy III, and Jericho Sims. Now, first, we can talk about who we think is going to win, and then we can bash it. Who do you think is going to win the slam dunk competition?
I'll be honest, I don't really give a
I
fuck.
don't even.
But I'll probably go Mac McClung.
Okay, that's not crazy. So
I don't-
Kenyon Martin, I think Kenyon Martin does
I
have a strong
haven't
chance to
watched
win.
the All-Star dunk contest and the three-point contest in so long, bro.
You're folding because we're going to talk about the three-point
Three-point
competition.
contest is the
Three-point
main event.
I
competition.
don't want to see
best.
Tyrese Halliburton ugly-ass jumper.
Tatum's in it. Dame's
Yeah,
in
he
it.
is, but
Curry's the king.
Yes.
You don't want to see your GOAT in the three-point competition.
Steph's not in it.
Not this year, obviously.
Draymond. Him versus Kevin Hart.
I haven't really gotten
And lose?
Yeah, I haven't got in tune with the All-Star. All-Star Weekend ain't been I haven't been a fan of
That's
it.
a
in
shame.
while.
You should lock in this year. Maybe
Because
not
the
this year.
big thing was always the dunk contest. That was always what drew me in Sass.
I'm going with Kenyon Martin. I just think that he's the best dunker here.
yeah,
but
that's
again,
Here's the thing.
now we can bash. Go
we
ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
We can bash a second. The best athlete doesn't usually win. You know, like Kenyon has the most balance,
creative.
but Mac McClung is definitely the one who practices and try the hardest here. He's gonna put on a show. Mac McClung
He
will
doesn't
win.
have shit else to do.
I was going to say he's not worried about
He might
playing
be
in
the
the
one
game.
that cares
No.
the most. but-
And Shannon Sharp should have stayed in. I wish.
Yeah,
Shaden
Sharp-
not doing
Sharp
it
would've
is
made it
disappointing
interesting.
as hell.
Real
man.
quick, just spitballing. What would be the perfect dunk contest?
Jaws in there for
John
sure.
needs to be it. Zion needs to be in it. I don't care about injury. I'm just
I'm
thinking.
gonna be honest.
perfect.
I don't. I would say Sharp.
I would honestly throw Sharp into this conversation also. I think he has the most bounce in the NBA.
He might.
I would love to see Braun in it just because he's never done it.
I wouldn't want to see Braun in it.
Tossing Sam
You're a
Hauser.
generational hater and it's
Hauser.
disgusting.
No, Braun's 40.
So?
I just don't want to. We have better dunkers.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we?
We don't want to see the tomahawk every single damn
We're
play.
talking about him on a breakaway doing the.
He's 40.
Are you dumb?
We have John Morant. We have Shaden Sharp. We got guys, bro. We don't need LeBron in
You're
the dunk
casual.
contest.
It's ridiculous.
It's okay. You're upset.
It's whatever.
You're hating.
So yes, to bash the dunk contest, we need stars. We need at least one star here.
Or just players who get minutes, I would be okay with.
Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine spoiled us. We got the best dunk competition in the history of the NBA, and we have been chasing that ever since. Aaron Gordon comes back, and we blatantly smack him in the face. We don't give him the award. We give it to Derrick Jones, who obviously he did put on a good performance. But Aaron Gordon needs to be in the dunk competition, and the fact that he's not, it just leaves me wanting more always. I think Aaron Gordon, the performances that he's put forth, I believe he has the best dunk in slam dunk competition history, dunking over the mascot, essentially sitting in air. I will never forget that dunk for the rest of my life. But think about that. It was Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, who Zach LaVine at the time wasn't even that huge of a name. Yeah. He was really just getting going, and those two, where credit is deserved, they gave us the best dunk competition that we've seen, but I feel like that was almost to a sense lucky because since then we haven't gotten nowhere near that level of competition, and the stars just continue to not show up for this event. And I understand that injuries are a huge deal and you always need to be mindful of it, but at least in the past we've gotten stars like Damian Lillard did a dunk competition. Victor Oladipo, who was very good at the time, did a dunk competition. There have been Blake Griffin did a dunk competition. There have been multiple
Talk about
guys.
sick dunks.
Just I don't understand why stars refuse to do it. Other than injuries, which is understandable, you need to show out because the event is starting to get boring, especially for the fact that Riv, who is one of the biggest basketball fans I know, couldn't care less about it. And that is very telling about the dunk competition. Now, we're going to talk about the three-point competition, and this is one that I'm actually looking forward to because I feel like it is officially taken over as the All-Star festivity that I look forward to, not named the All-Star game. We have Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Kevin Herter, Damian Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, Anthony Simons, and Jason Tatum.
Did you say Kevon Herter and Kevin Herter?
No, they're the same guy. Fucked me up. Well, I had to make sure I said Kevin. Who do you think's going to win?
Who's the last two guys?
Anthony Simons and Jason Tatum.
You don't got to ask.
Simons ain't playing, right?
He did just get an MRR, so I don't know if he will be in the 3-point competition. You're 100% right.
Bias Tatum, non-biased
Tatum.
Lillard.
Oh,
Non-biased. I think Damian Lillard comes home with this
I'll
one.
say Buddy Hield.
I could see Tatum having a Paul George-like performance. Sorry, that was a little cold. You remember that?
Tatum was phenomenal when he did the 3-point competition like 2 years ago.
So I have a strong
I
base.
yeah.
Are you a Jason Tatum hater?
Are you a Paul George hater?
I guess Joel had to
They
leave,
shoot
right?
the same way. They have the same release, and I
the
can
hell?
imagine them taking off the rack and
Tatum
breaking them the
shoots from
same
like
way.
right here and pulls it up here. PG's from over here. You know?
Nah, I'll be honest. You're right. Tatum's is Mad Bungee.
Yeah.
He's
You're a
he's
hater.
just very tight when he shoots.
Okay.
I don't think
He
Tatum
keeps
wins.
his elbow in. What do you?
I'm going Damian Lillard for the fact that he's been on one of the craziest heaters I've ever seen in my life.
I'll take the underdog. Healed.
I'm taking Tyler
Underdog.
Hero.
I was gonna say underdog. There you go. That's that Tyler Hero.
I feel like
might be
Buddy
it.
Hield, man. He ain't got no fan
What
base.
about
in that shit.
Halliburton?
I
I would
that
not
jumper.
be surprised
I
if
would be-
Halliburton runs out of
I
time.
hate
His
that
release
jump
way
shot.
too slow.
Yeah.
He
way
might
too
run out of
slow.
time
I
before he's
hate
able
that
to
jumper.
finish.
He
He
need to
should
be
not. He
quick
better
with
not
it,
win.
and I
He
think
better not
Hero's
let
too
that
quick.
man win.
All right, and now, do we want to talk about the skills challenge? I don't either. So this is what I've been looking forward to
Here we
all
go.
night.
Draft.
I've been looking forward to this all night. We're going to draft our own all-star rosters. We're going to be choosing the side of Team LeBron, of course. And you guys are going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, of course, I'm going to choose my captain, LeBron
Can we change our captain?
No. I'm sorry, they're already preset.
Okay.
All right, so,
You sure?
yes, we're going to rock, paper, scissors for who gets first pick.
You sure you want to play me?
I'm going to designate Joel to do that.
Okay.
What, rock paper scissors says shoot.
Yeah.
Rock paper scissors says shoot. Rock paper scissors says shoot. Fuck.
There we go. First pick overall. They want us to start with guards. No, we're not doing this.
Let's go
you
best.
got
We'll go best.
NBA folded.
Yeah, facts. I have it up here.
Yeah,
if you wanna take a
thank
look.
you very
but
much.
we're not gonna be able to like cross it off.
No, I
and
understand.
shit.
Just send
Okay.
it to send to iMessage if you have it.
Okay.
You know, I'm actually going to give you the responsibility of the number one overall selection because I know you're not going to mess it up.
You'll go
I
one
know
over
you're
two?
purposely not going to draft Jason Tatum number one over all these guys.
Dude, I want to so bad. Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it.
Let him be an idiot.
Which one is
Let
it?
me
Is
do
it this one? Nope. There we go.
With the first pick in the pick aside All-Star draft, Team LeBron will be taking Luka Doncic.
Thank you very much. Amazing selection. It was pretty obvious, understandably. Seeing LeBron and Luka together is exciting. You ready? You got your pick?
Yes, sir.
Picking
Do you even
first.
converse? Oh, okay.
With the second overall pick in the pick-aside All-Star draft, Team Giannis will be selecting Nikola Jokic.
I like that.
That's a great pick.
That was a toss-up.
Great selection.
Go either way.
I thought you were going to go Jokic, but I understand Luka.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Now,
Who wants a big?
now, ironically enough, I feel like we have to go big.
Well, the only big left is the big guy.
Is Joel Embiid. However, I think that now that they selected
Facts.
Jokic,
They're not gonna go-
they're
no.
not going Joel Embiid.
Hold
so
it.
with that being said, with the third overall selection of the pick-aside All-Star draft, we will be selecting Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
Let's go. Casuals. You guys folded. Could have took Tatum.
You could have.
We're just going to pound this.
Dude, send me this picture, please.
I did. I sent it to the chat.
Oh, got it.
Have fun taking the fourth best player on the board.
Oh, shit.
Better than your goat.
All right, you got it, Riv?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
All right. With the second pick in the 2023 draft.
Fourth pick, bro. Fourth
Fourth
pick
pick.
overall.
Fucking alive.
That's because I was the second pick. Jesus Christ.
fool.
Doesn't even matter because we're going to win the game. We're going Joel Embiid. Don't know why you guys thought this. You guys are idiots. You have no big. You're fucked. We're
You
going
guys got
Joel
Giannis
Embiid.
and Jokic. You guys got no shooting.
We don't need it. Look what we're going to do to
It's
you.
2023. Welcome.
You have Jason
Hello.
Tatum guarding Giannis. Good
Okay,
luck.
Lock up, stupid.
Come here. Travel.
What happened the last
No.
time they played? Who won?
The
Oh,
team.
wait.
The Celtics. This is an all-star game. This is different.
So right now, Drew, we have LeBron and Luka. We have size, but they have size.
They have size.
with Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. At this point, I mean, we're not taking
Bro, we have,
fucking.
what is he saying, bro? We have LeBron, we have Luka, we got Tatum, we got size.
You got to be serious.
Oh,
we
we
got
have Tatum too,
size.
my bad, I forgot to write
Don't
that
forget
down.
about that. We have Tatum.
So right now, the starters who are available are Kyrie,
Kyrie.
Laurie, Donovan Mitchell, John Morant.
Laurie starting?
So people know Kevin Durant is out, Steph is out,
I'm assuming
and
that's
so
what the
is
start
Zion.
Yeah, Laurie got replaced as a starter.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Shout out to Laurie. Pick him.
All right.
Okay, so it's between right now. I think I know where I'm going with this. None of these guys has size, so I will be taking the best player available, in my opinion. I'll take Donovan Mitchell.
I think that's an amazing selection. You did not force
should
us.
take Laurie.
No, we didn't need that. We
Laurie
didn't need
stretches
that.
the floor.
Which with
do you think?
so does Kyrie. But I'm fine with it for the fact
said
that
so does
there
Kyrie.
are bigs
Actually,
available on the bench.
Facts.
There are
Sure, go with
bigs.
here.
How about you talking to the mic, bro?
Well, that's the point. We're game planning.
We don't want to talk to.
What do you mean, bro? Why are we being low key? The world can see you talk regardless.
Yeah, but
I don't know who to go with here.
Riv
was
saying should we
thinking
take
Sam
Kyrie? John said Sam Hauser.
You got
Ball
Donovan
nowhere.
Mitchell, correct?
let's go just automatic big and take Laurie and go crazy.
We could.
You guys are
Let's
gonna
do
get
it.
fucked.
Hit it.
All right. I'm fine with it.
This team is gross.
They'll win.
This team is gross.
They'll win.
No, it won't. We have
you
no
go-
spacing.
We don't need it.
You have Giannis and beating Jokic.
Who do you have?
We have
LeBron?
LeBron, Luka, Tate. Oh,
Who's
I'm
at the
not gonna
five?
lie, we might win by 30. We might win by 30.
Team led
at the five?
GM.
Who's gonna
never
shoot
who's at the
failed.
five?
40% from three?
Who's at the five?
Who's gonna take
Who's at the
60
five?
threes to
LeBron.
make 30 of
Who's
them?
at the four? Be so fucking
Tatum.
serious. Tatum
It's
go
an
to Embiid?
all-star game.
He'll get
It's an
fouled
all-star
out.
game.
He will
We're going to
get
shoot our
fouled.
ass out.
Pick your.
All right, the music. Here we go.
They picked the fourth best guy on the board.
Probably the fifth, to be honest with you, because
Maybe
with the
sixth.
fifth pick,
Oh,
and the pick
'cause guys are
aside,
hurt.
All-Star draft, we'll be selecting Damian Lillard.
Is he starting?
He's not.
Damon's not
You have
starting.
to
can't
pick the
pick him?
starters.
No, bro. It's starters only. You do get the
tried it.
You
You
did
tried
try
it.
it. You
He should
fucking
be a
tried
starter.
it. You
No.
fucking
He's
tried
better
it.
than
Kyrie.
Tatum.
Just take
Oh
Kyrie.
my god.
With the fifth pick and the pick aside, All-Star draft, Team Giannis will be selecting Kyrie Irving.
Ah, okay. So we get Laurie, and we get a little bit of size here. Okay.
We go first on the reserve.
believe
You
me.
do. You do. All right.
Laurie's
So
gonna get pummeled in the
very
first.
obviously, Team Andrew and Team Joel will be selecting.
Wait, there's Laurie and Jaws on the board.
Jazz a starter?
Yes.
As a starter, yes.
So before we take Laurie,
Dude,
I mean,
Please play two
Easy.
guards.
Ja?
I don't care.
Fuck it.
All right.
Do it.
With the final selection of the starting selection, we will be taking Ja Morant, solidifying our team as probably the most athletic team in the game. That's probably not true because of Luka, but hey, I'm not upset about it. We got a squad.
We do.
You're not going to be able to keep up with us. We're going to space the floor and we're going to have fun.
Well, it's a good thing.
And we're going to be out in transition.
It's a good thing the Joker shoots 39% from the 3-point line, right?
Nah, he's just
And Embiid shoots 36. I think we'll be okay.
No, you won't.
And then Giannis running up and down.
You're
on-
gonna sit. You're gonna put them in corners for the
No,
whole
no,
game.
we're just gonna post you up.
I'll be honest, this draft's ugly.
Oh, we'll down.
We have ugly ass team. I mean, the fact we have no big sucks.
We're gonna pick
But
up
the fact you only have bigs is hilarious.
I didn't know Kyrie, Jokic, were bigs.
Jokic?
Joker's in a big.
He's a point guard.
Oh my god.
All right, you guys get the first pick in the reserves. Do you guys know who you're selecting?
Well, we've only picked 4 guys. Jokic,
Oh,
Kyrie,
well, yes,
Giannis.
you're getting
You just
Laurie.
have
You have
Laurie.
Laurie. You got Laurie already.
He's the
we're
only
forced.
player available.
Forced.
Forced to get Laurie,
Okay, fine.
which is fine. He's a 3-point shooter.
Great
He's
play
7 feet
finisher.
tall.
The finisher.
Yeah. We
So-
get all the rebounds. So anytime we miss, we get the board back.
Oh, yeah. We're taking,
Whoa, bro, that's your music.
You can take this pick.
with the 7th pick and the pick aside All-Star draft, we will be selecting, Team Giannis will be selecting Damian Lillard.
Okay, understandable. It's the
This
sixth.
is your. Okay,
Yes.
my bad. I thought you tried doing some dumb shit again.
No, he didn't. Joel, I know we need a big
We do.
pretty badly,
we
but I
do.
think we can wait.
These motherfuckers.
There's no way they're going a big. There's
might.
no way.
Just out of spite.
There's
they might.
absolutely no
don't
way.
know-
I'm telling
you
you,
don't
we can
know what we'll
we
do.
can finesse. I think we go
There is
SGA.
bigs.
We got to go SGA.
You want an SGA?
I feel like SGA is best available.
And it hurts
right now.
him,
Exactly. No,
which-
that's exactly why I wanted to do it because
makes me the
fuck Riv right
happiest.
now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no.
I'm cool with
SGA will
that.
be driving Randy.
All right.
Yes. Have fun.
With the first selection
I got it.
of our reserves on Team LeBron, we will be selecting Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
That's a good pick.
Thank you very much. I know
Hurt
it
me
is.
mentally.
Yeah, good.
Cue my music. I have my pick.
All right.
We're going with an injury replacement here. We're going Anthony Edwards.
Amazing selection.
We're taking him. I was
an
thinking
amazing
about
selection.
some other guys, but we'll go Anthony Edwards.
All right. I'm not mad with it.
Okay, you took Ant-Man. You said.
Yeah, we got Ant-Man.
Let me just write that down so I don't take him.
No, we running.
Okay, so this
Gunning.
puts us in an interesting
And
place.
Giannis, pick and roll. Lit.
Okay, I think I know where I want to go here.
Dame Jokic.
I think I want to know.
Rebound.
Paul George. Get someone. We need some size. Unless you want to go big. Unless you want to go the big man here. If we're not going big man, we need someone
Wait,
with
stop,
some size.
stop. Get a big.
No, we don't
No,
need to.
we don't need to right now.
We don't need
Take
to.
Paul
We're
George.
tactical.
Take Jalen Brown. That's your guy.
I heard Randall is available too.
I need Paul George a bit bigger than Brown.
Yeah, and he does
he
give us
really?
some
I feel
really
like
great
Jalen
fucking
Brown-
defense.
I feel like Jalen Brown's stronger.
He is,
Paul George.
but PG's got a couple inches on him.
fair.
You know
know what?
2-3 inches with it.
Fuck you guys.
With the maybe 7th pick in the pick-a-side All-Star draft, Team LeBron will be taking Paul George.
Taking all
Eat
the,
it.
Taking all the Rev guys.
Eat it, ho.
All right.
I'm a hoe.
Yeah.
On live. Sick. Well, take his bum player, I guess, right? You know, or take another big. I don't care.
Are you ready?
Yeah, take Randall. With the 9th pick, Team Giannis will be selecting Jalen Brown.
Understandable. That's okay. That's all right.
cool with
We'll
that.
live with that. We'll live with
We'll
that.
take the non-dribbler.
We will live with that.
We have enough guys who can do.
I think we got to go Bam out of
All he
bio.
has to do is
We're going
catch
Bam
and
here?
I
shoot.
think we need Bam here.
Yeah,
You need
lock
Bam
up
dearly.
Bam.
He
Dearly.
can catch
Bam.
and shoot and lock up Tatum.
Yeah. Lock up his best friend. You know?
As the third reserve on Team LeBron, we will be selecting Bam Adebayo. We desperately needed a big. That's the first
You need to
true
start
big
him.
we have. Bro, it's gonna be a quick. He's the 6th man off the bench.
Yeah, you need to start.
It'll be a quick transition. One of you guys gets fouled. Bam Adebayo enters the game. Amazing selection by us, if I say so myself.
I got
Are
this.
you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna go with the clutchest player in the league and another injury replacement. We'll take De'Aaron Fox, get him off the board because now you have to keep going bigs because you're fucked.
I thought you were gonna go Randall right
We
there.
don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to. I'm thinking this.
If you pick
Drew Holiday.
Sabonis, you're cooked.
Drew Holiday.
A Sabonis isn't crazy.
Bonus. So
and beat a torture him.
So who's left on the board right now? We have DeMar. We have
Sabonis.
Tyrese, Drew Holiday, Jaren Jackson, Julius Randle.
You need Jared.
That's the name.
Jaren.
You
That's
need
the name.
Jaren.
Yes. So I'm ready for our pick.
All right, here we go.
With the 4th reserve in the pick-a-side All-Star draft, Team LeBron will be taking Jaren Jackson Jr., the best interior defender in the NBA. I mean, you have the bigs, we have the defenders. Good fucking luck.
Fucking talk to him.
Fucking casuals,
Our bigs
man.
stay out of foul trouble.
Oh,
Preferably so.
Bam doesn't foul like that. Respect him.
He doesn't.
All right, you guys ready?
We are.
All right.
With the 11th pick, Team Giannis will be selecting Tyrese Halliburton.
That's a great pick. That's a great
Who'd you
selection.
take before that?
That's a great
Fox.
selection.
De'Aaron Fox.
Fox. Word.
So this is our 5th player off the bench, correct?
1, 2,
A lot
Yes.
of guards off.
All right.
6.
All 5.
6? Are you sure? No, I think it's
we
5th.
took SGA, Paul George, Bam, Fox, JJ.
No, we didn't get Fox. They got Fox.
We got Fox.
The 5th.
All right. So with the 5th selection of our reserves, we will be selecting Pascal
that
Siakam.
was coming.
The fact that he is still on the board here
We don't want
speaks
him.
volumes to the hate that you have in the Toronto Raptors' heart. Show some damn respect to Pascal Siakam. Do you hear me, Riv?
He's a
I'm
replacement.
talking to
You
you.
didn't have Pascal spot up?
We don't need him to
You got to
do
play him
that.
big.
Pascal off the bench, he could be our point guard. You
Ben
know
Simmons
he can
style, huh?
facilitate. And his
Simmons.
defensively, sleep on his defense. You already know what he can do offensively. Defensively, he's going to hold it down just fine.
Yeah, he'll do a good job in the post against Embiid.
Respect Pascal Siakam.
go?
All right,
Who's
you got
left?
it. I mean, you have the players
Oh,
available.
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Here we go.
So I'll go with him. I'll represent New York here. I'll bring one guy out here. I'm gonna take Julius Randle with this pick. You know, just continue to take
That
bigs
hurts.
off the
I
board
was
from you
hoping.
clowns.
I was hoping.
If we want a big, one is available.
It is available.
2 is available, right?
Or
Or do a DeMar, please.
that's what I am.
Non-shooting or a big.
Tomorrow is going to be my last pick. To be honest.
Crazy.
So right now I'm between. I mean, another big would be Sabonis. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you have Drew Holiday who could defend, but it's not like they have a ton of guards that we really need to defend, right?
So that means that it's DeMar.
Anthony Edwards can't
it's
defend, right?
Sabonis.
De'Aaron Fox, you can't have the
and
guard
it's
him. Right?
Holiday. That's it. That's all that's available, correct?
No, Holiday you picked, right?
No, we didn't pick him yet.
So yeah, Holiday,
DeRozan, Sabonis.
DeMar. Wait, this doesn't make sense.
Yes, because you guys got the first pick.
Right.
What do you want to do, bro?
Let's see here. We really still only have 2 bigs. Not the Sabonis is like a
Drew Holiday,
Dominating
if we're going to
presence.
be realistic, he's not playing that many minutes as great as he is defensively. In our world, we want him to play a lot of minutes defensively. It's not going to happen in real life.
that's facts. And Sabonis is not going to get a ton of minutes either, for being honest.
He won't.
We play all 12
With
guys.
that being said, do we go DeRozan for the minutes? He's going to play.
But he's not as good as
These
the other
guys are about to pick a mid-range merchant.
It's between
That's your star player. Respect.
It's between Drew and
20
Sabonis.
We're 25 and 33.
Respect him. What were you saying?
They picked
It's between
Pascal.
Drew and Sabonis.
Wow.
for
You
me.
think we'll get DeMar still? I'm not mad.
I don't. If
You
we don't
will.
get DeMar, I'll be.
I promise you, you will.
honestly.
You know
We'll
what?
be on the board to the end.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
promise
mean? I don't have
Drew,
preference.
I promise you, you'll get DeMar to the end.
We have the lesser playmaker already in Pascal Siakam.
You want to go, Drew?
I think Drew's the pick here.
Okay,
All right,
let's hit
here
the
we go.
music. With our 5th or 6th bench selection, Team LeBron will be taking Drew Holiday, arguably the best perimeter defender in the league.
This
And
is
you
what
let
we
him
do.
this far?
Let GM.
Please be better.
We do this.
As men.
We do this.
The GM has to take a track record in recent seasons.
What do you mean by that?
Um,
He's undefeated in the All-Star game when he actually has full control.
who has a championship more recently? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yep.
Really? You're going to do that? You're going to do that?
Yeah.
You're making me sick to my stomach right now, John.
That's just
I might vomit.
the way it goes.
On air. All right, do you have your selection?
We do.
All right.
With what is the 13th pick, Team Giannis will select Domantas Sabonis, scale playmaker in the mix.
All right, I'm not overly upset. We already have
We
already-
promised you DeMar would be at the
Yeah,
board.
no doubt. Pascal's better than Sabonis. He is. It's just that simple to me, and that's with all due respect. I love Sabonis. You know
Who
I'm
is
a
a better
Sabonis guy.
complement in an All-Star game? I'll take the guy who can dish it. Real good.
How many minutes do you think Sabonis will have in the All-Star game?
6.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Maybe 8.
And with the last selection of the All-Star pick-aside draft,
Chicago.
Team James, Le GM, will be selecting DeMar DeRozan. I'm okay with this selection. You guys think that
gotta
it's
be.
not
It's the
that
last one
good.
available.
Regardless of that fact, DeMar is going to play a lot more than you think.
He's a glue guy.
That's tough.
That's
Blue guy.
He can't
pretty bad.
defend.
Blue guy.
Playmaking is mid.
You're talking about a starter last year.
Yeah, he's gonna mid merchant the fuck out of this.
That's
game.
fine.
We're talking-
It's the
this
All-Star
guy was
game.
breaking Wilt's records.
Oh yeah,
Respect him.
Black History Month. I remember that month.
Shout out. I mean, it's still going on.
It was a great, legendary month.
It was.
He was better than Michael Jordan.
Are you
He was
saying
better
last-
than LeBron.
got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
He was the greatest player ever.
It was
It's over.
insane.
It's over.
Can we put up a poll in the chat? Is that possible?
No, we do need. But if you guys could copy and paste your teams into the chat so they know which teams are about, John, preferably you, since you are on the pick a side account. Which team do you think clears? Joel, if you'd be kind enough to repeat
gonna-
our team, I would
yes.
really appreciate it.
Oh,
have a
shit,
picture
shit,
of it?
You
shit.
did it in the wrong chat, but that's
Wrong
fine.
chat, wrong chat.
Ah,
Let me just send this to John. Okay. Our team. Team LeBron, Le GM, Team James. LeBron, Luka, Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Ja Morant. That is our starting 5.
Nice.
Off the bench, SGA, Paul George, Bam, Jaren Jackson Jr., Pascal Siakam, Drew Holiday, and DeMar DeRozan.
Get fucked.
What?
Get fucked.
By what?
This team is smoking, y'all.
no, it's not.
All right, share your mediocre team, please.
Despicable.
Go ahead, Riv. You don't have it?
There's no way he wrote it down.
I have it.
There's no chance in God's name.
So, Team Giannis. Nikola Jokic at point guard, Kyrie at the 2, Lauri Markkanen at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and Embiid at the 5.
Go ahead.
If you play Giannis at the fucking 5. Like Kyrie's sitting right there, bro. Kyrie at
Jokic
the
is the better playmaker.
No, I know, but Jokic's the 5 by default,
Well,
and then we
Kyrie
can run the
can
O.
dish it, he can take it,
smoking.
he can do
Yeah,
it.
no, it's easy. It's easy.
All right, and your bench, please share it.
And our bench is, it's better than your starting lineup, honestly. Damian Lillard, Jalen Brown, Ant Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Julius Randle.
Solid bench.
Our
right
bench
now.
clears.
You have Pascal Siakam and DeMar DeRozan.
We have
on the bench.
SGA, Paul
Pascal
George, and
Siakam
Bam
is-
off the
We
bench.
have Jalen Brown. Shut up. Shut up.
You have my guy. I have your guy. This week on the list.
And we have Dame. You just said Dame was better than SGA. Don't say nothing to me.
He is.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Let's get the chat as I finish typing this out.
So I'm saying, just copy and paste it into YouTube.
I texted you our list.
Yeah, I got your list. I'm getting the better team, of course, here for last.
John, man, you're really pissing me off this episode.
We gotta own it, man.
All right. Once I see what the chat does, first and foremost, this is going to wrap up the show, of course. Episode 256, the
Hey,
first episode.
round of applause for Drew
Oh,
holding it
geez.
down as
Thank
the
you.
host.
Thank you. Are you gonna
hit,
wow.
hit the music?
Wow.
Or the
I feel pretty,
shout out
you
to
know,
Drew, holding it
appreciate
down.
it. I definitely was nervous. It got a lot easier as it went on. All right, this could stop now.
We have a couple of super chats.
Oh,
right?
do we?
There
You know,
we go.
all right. So before we do that, we will 100% read the super chats. Did you guys star them? I
Yeah,
appreciate
starred.
it. Thank you very much. Digo, we already read that one. Matthew Pennington says, "Talk about JT just dropping 24 in the third quarter. Goodness gracious!
Hey, it's time you watch some Boston Celtics basketball.
yeah, wake up.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen
Wake
the
up.
finals too.
Oh no, you too.
I've been woke on Jason.
I don't know about that. You've been a hater,
Dehls, have I
bro.
not?
What?
Come along with the Jason Tatum love?
It took him some time.
It did. It did.
Colin McKnight, I think it's spelled McNaught, so I apologize. Donated $1.99. Said Derek White, criminally underrated. Stop hating.
There's so many ball knowers in the
He's
chat
100% talking to you, Riv. Wait, now this really is where you need to wake up. You're simply sleeping. You're sleeping
Oh, what?
on Derek White.
Okay.
He's a great basketball player.
Great.
Maybe the third best player on the Bulls.
Caruso's better.
You won't get an argument out of me.
That's not true. I don't know.
Respect him.
I think Vooch is better. Vooch has
That's
been
my
fine this
PJ
year.
Tucker. And when you talk about Alex Caruso, you better put respect on his name.
Derek White gives you he gives you it offensively.
Oh no, like Caruso's like a disruptor, joke.
He's the best perimeter defender in the game. I don't care what anyone
He's
says
like,
to me.
bro, he's like disrupting shit, bro. I ain't never seen no shit like this.
I tried to tell
Jalen
you.
Brunson put him on his ass.
No, that was a bad crossover. It happens, you know.
I tried to tell you.
Couldn't be my goal.
When are you going to
Your
apologize
goat
for
allowed
that?
a man to score 30 a game in the finals.
It's a team game.
This guy.
Alex V donated $2.
Brunson pushed off.
Alex V donated $2. He says, nice to see John back on the pod. And I
course.
agree. It was great to have you
hated
today,
it.
man. Caleb Belts donated $1.99. Said, what moves did the Raiders make to get into the playoffs?
Aaron Rodgers would be a good start.
It would
Quarterback.
be a good start.
Offensive line,
Well done.
Defense.
defense.
Maybe a new coach.
A lot of things.
I think the head coach will be okay if Rodgers is the head coach.
Oh, and the division
If
getting
Rodgers is the
worse.
quarterback.
Conference getting worse in general.
Sean Payton retires. Herbert
Broncos
leaves.
have to not exist for it to happen.
Darren Waller turning into Travis Kelce.
I think Darren Waller would be my fantasy dream this year if Aaron Rodgers goes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he becomes a savage. No doubt.
Hunter Renfrow learning how to play ball again.
That I believe with Aaron Rodgers, that'll get fixed. If listen, a lot gets fixed if Aaron Rodgers comes to
Did
town.
you just see how much we named off for the Raiders to be good?
You're not wrong.
It's not
You're
ideal.
not wrong. I don't disagree. I think they will be last in the division yet again, even though they weren't this year because we were so terrible. That won't happen again. Put that on everything I love. RJ the God.
Don't do that, please. Don't.
Bro, Rex Ryan's coming to town.
I heard.
Respect us.
Talking.
Our defense better be best in the
I'm a little
league.
bit of a casual. I don't really remember what Rex Ryan did.
So 2 years in a row.
Oh,
Not
the
two.
Jets.
Yes.
I already
Number
know.
one defense in the
AFC
league,
shit.
and
Mark
then a top
Sanchez.
3 defense.
So he
in
can
the
fix the bum Russ.
league. Okay, well, he worries about the
Defense.
defense,
Ah, you're fucked.
but Sean Payton worries about Russ.
But your defense is already elite. So how much better can he make it?
You get Rex, you're about to find out.
I'm
You're about
not
to
worried.
find out.
I'm in the
Is
NFC.
Rex going to go in there and saying win the Super Bowl? Like you do
He
with the
better.
Saints?
You better exit.
It's
Let's go,
bro, it's such a shame that we can't be on Hard Knocks this year.
Facts.
No
That's
good.
such bullshit. That's
You were
bullshit.
on every national televised game last year.
He's not wrong.
It was awesome.
No,
I
it
know.
wasn't.
was-
You
it
did
was
it.
terrible.
You actually were embarrassed.
I'm not gonna lie, I was in agony. RJ the God donated $1.99. He said, I tend to agree with Riv a lot. Shrug emoji.
Because you're smart.
Is he shrugging because he's like, I don't know ball either?
No, it's because I know too much ball. So, you know,
It's like the Jordan shrug.
he's greatness.
Santos, I think Santos is being biased because John's on the show. And Santos
Doesn't
absolutely
matter.
has a
Bias
crush
wins.
on John. He said, Team Giannis won, exclamation point. It's
Santos.
not even close. Santos, I mean this with all due respect. That's a casual take, bro.
John, they call you
That is
cute.
a casual. I mean,
They are.
he's handsome.
Thank
You
you.
are
I
handsome.
appreciate
Handsome
that,
man.
fellas.
Another handsome man.
dude.
You and Dehls kind of look alike. And
Those
that's
were white.
That's a race thing.
Gotta be. Just all that would be.
All right. And that's going to do it for
But do you not say I
episode-
look like most light skins?
No.
Oh, cap.
No.
Bro, try putting that on me.
You said I look like George Hill before.
George, I say you look like Justin Fields.
Because of light skin.
You guys
And you just said I was
But
put.
You look like
Jalen
you look
Johnson.
like Jettis to me solely for the head shape.
Nice.
Got an oval head and so does he. All right. Is that fair?
I'll take that.
All right. You're welcome. And he's a handsome dude.
Yeah, Jettis is Jettis.
He is. He's a savage. It's just unfortunate you're not a
things to me.
savage. Okay. Well, there's that.
And let's shout out Mojo one more time.
No,
Big time
absolutely.
day.
I appreciate
Facts.
that, John.
Shout out
Shout out to Mojo. Finally releasing NBA onto their platform. Again, code is PICKASIDE100 if you want to use that to deposit your first time into the Mojo app. Get into the player props, the liquid player props, I should say. Definitely intriguing. I was able to win some cash in the Super Bowl. It'll be interesting to see how those lines adjust, especially in terms of maybe three-point shooting, assists. That's how I like to find mine because they cost less money and you're able to get more bang on your buck
yeah.
there.
Is LeBron back tonight for the liquid
He is.
prop?
And AD. AD's back.
And AD. That's
Against
good
the
time.
Pels,
I'm
that's
trying to
absolutely
check the
huge.
liquid props right now.
I saw Jalen Brunson was at 26. I know that game's over. I'm not sure what
Yeah,
they are
those
now.
games, we tried to check it. They were over.
That's
Well, they
facts.
started already.
That's
so.
facts. Again, use PickAside100. The code will be in the description below. I want to thank you guys. It was an amazing time hosting for the first time. Want to give, of course, a shout out to Joel Moran. I hope you're enjoying yourself over in Arizona. I saw he posted a little pic on his Instagram. That was a very, very
Juicy.
very cute
Juicy.
picture, of course. But of course, it's been great. Episode 256. That's going to do it for the Pick Aside podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next time.